I had a short-lived sobriety, white knuckle sobriety. If you're a normie, it's just where you're not in a 12-step program and you're just literally white knuckling your way through it for a relationship, somebody who didn't drink or do drugs. And he was like, I'm going to leave you if you keep doing this. And I was like, oh, okay. And then we broke up shortly after I relapsed, and I'll never forget, I started right off where I had left off. Like how we say in the 12 steps, you pick up right where you left off.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the #1 mental health and addiction podcast, the Hopeaholics. I am your girl, Natalie Eva Marie, and these are my boys.
I'm Chad.
Hi, I'm Shane.
Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and follow us on our socials and wherever you get your podcasts.
Got a new episode dropping every Monday and Thursday. Please come check it out.
This episode is brought to you by the Infinity Group. You guys, if you or a loved one is suffering, please call us today. The number is right here on the screen. We are here for you 24/7. Now, let's get into the episode.
CJ, welcome to the Hopeaholics podcast.
Yes.
Happy to be here. The last 1 minute of that. Oh, good. Well, then you missed a good part.
We missed
Sorry.
a good part, yeah.
Yeah. Tune into both our pages.
But random,
That's right.
I'm just going to say, and I'm only going to say this part of it. Randomly, these two were in a picture together years ago. It's got to be, over 12 years? Because
Oh, for sure.
I think it's more.
Yeah, it's more than that.
Yeah.
Because I know exactly that. I know my time frame pretty well just from
So
my
what?
sobriety. So I had to be 22.
how old
Yeah.
are you now?
Emily,
40.
Emily.
40? Dang.
Emily. Where is
But I
this,
love
Emily?
that though.
Yeah.
Like, there's no shame in my game.
pictures,
Like I put all my
supposed
shit.
to
Nice.
research.
Yeah.
It's a good picture.
And-
yes. I'll have
Come on,
to see if
man.
I can find it.
Same, because I have.
I want to see this picture.
It's a good one. We're looking good.
I mean, that's why I'm saying, like, if Josh took it, all his shit's fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Philip or Philippe. I'm not sure what, but
Okay.
he's and they're both still shooting now, and it's a
Because that day
beautiful
there was like a ton of photographers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the same day that I'm thinking of.
All right,
Yes.
we're at the 2 minute 10 mark, and I believe we have to do a commercial now. No, I'm just kidding.
Show us the picture. Shut up. Is that what it is? Okay.
But you know what's crazy about that though? Is what's cool is that because I know that you're on a sobriety journey, and however many years ago that was, like we were both figuring it out.
Yeah, I was very much figuring it out in that era.
Me too.
I
Girl.
love figuring out.
Shane's still
I
trying to
love.
figure it out.
No. I'm too old to figure it out, and I'm married. I've 15 years. I haven't figured it out.
You better
but
have the answer.
I tried to figure it out every day of my life.
They were talking about sobriety.
Oh, Jesus! I wasn't. I was not talking about sobriety.
We gathered that.
Right?
the way-
Am I in a totally different field?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
like.
Yep.
I'm in the wrong ballpark.
Left.
Ballpark.
That's
Left-
keep trying.
ballpark.
Keep trying.
Okay, I'll try.
Well, where are you from?
Originally Sacramento,
Oh,
but
you are.
a
Okay.
small town outside
Yeah.
of Sacramento, Galt, California. If there's anyone out there, 1 or 2 people. I grew up on a farm.
Oh wow. Okay.
We had cows and chickens, and we were doing the organic lifestyle before it was cool.
Yeah, totally.
I mean,
Yeah.
You're ahead of the game.
I
then.
want that in my life
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, now, but
I want a farm and a chicken and a cows.
we had a crazy chicken too that would like chase us.
Oh yeah.
When you're a kid, you're like, oh, I think it's so fun, but I'm like, oh my God, that's kind of dangerous. Maybe the chicken had a disease or something. I don't know, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was a good childhood.
Yeah.
Growing up, very charmed. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Siblings.
I'm the oldest of 4.
Okay.
My mom divorced and remarried and had my half brothers, so there's 4 of us, and we my brother is also sober now, so it definitely does run in the family.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that we got a lot of the alcoholic tendencies from my dad. My dad's a little more on the extreme side, although we were raised very religious, so there was no alcohol in the house growing up, no cursing, no secular TV.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I remember it was a big deal. I watched Jurassic Park without asking, and my dad was like, God created the dinosaurs. You shouldn't have watched that. And I was in big trouble. I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, that was after my parents divorced. So we grew up on the farm. So that, I think, I always kind of felt othered in that way as well. And, but, the drinking and all of that kind of came a little bit later, but looking back on childhood, I can see different ways in which I was doing certain things alcoholically and having like an alcoholic thought process well before I had ever taken a drink or anything.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
I
wondering,
had that same thing.
is that
Yeah.
bad?
What?
Is that bad, having alcoholic tendencies? I mean, that for me is a strength.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I mean, it depends on how you look
it
at
depends.
it.
Yeah, it depends. Depends on where you end up.
You
Yeah.
know, I align with what you're saying because I
You're
have
the
an
first guest that's ever said that.
No, I align with that, and here's why: because I have a herbologist woman lady that I go and I see, and she always tells me, it's in so many words. She'll say it's bad that you say you're an alcoholic. You shouldn't be saying that because it's like a bad thing. And I'm like, no, that's just your connotation. That's the way that you're taking it. It's like if I say I'm half Mexican or I'm part Indian, I'm just describing myself.
Right.
It's not good or bad because I don't attach anything to it. So I like what you said about, is that bad? I don't think it's necessarily bad to have alcoholic tendencies. I think it's just really important to know that.
Curb.
And
to
be
be
self-aware.
Well, if you use them for good or for
Yeah,
evil,
because
as,
if you're-
as,
like a
your,
power.
as your superpower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
once
Good
you
for
get
good or
sober
evil.
and you're able to direct that,
Yeah, that
like
juice.
alcoholic tendencies or addict tendencies, you're a beast. And you can like handle and conquer. So
If I
that's
do
where it's a
things-
positive.
Right. If you do things alcoholically, you can like use it for good, like you were
Yes.
saying, or your drive, or have it push you for good.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's even more so than the average person.
Right.
So that's why-
Absolutely.
That's why it's like I don't look at it nearly as what I thought before, where I thought, oh, doomsday
Right.
having it, but it's like not really, because you're so driven towards something, and if you're able to, like, you're gonna outwork the other dude.
It's just
hands
a
down.
word that I would use to like describe a pattern,
Yeah.
just like anything else. Not necessarily bad or good, just like me describing something. Yeah.
I think that's why like the brain is so fascinating to me, because perception is everything, and every individual is going to have their own perception about how they feel about a certain thing. Because I've heard it before, people saying like, stop saying the narrative that you're an alcoholic and an addict or whatever. But I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's a negative in
Right.
my eyes.
It's just used to identify. Personally, I kind of like when I say like, oh, I'm an alcoholic or I'm in recovery, and it kind of makes people uncomfortable.
For sure.
I'm like, ooh, I don't know why, but you're like, people
No,
are
they
kind of
totally-
like, you can see them shift and they're like, oh no. And then like they might be having a drink and they're like, put it down, and then they like push it away and they're like, is that okay? I'm like, yeah, that's okay for you. Yeah, that's
totally.
great.
It's
Yeah.
like, don't allow me to bring out like whatever insecurities you got going on.
Right. Or I'm just like, yeah, you should have more, like entertain me. Like, I'm on the sideline now.
Yeah.
I need some entertainment. Go for it.
It is funny to watch people like
Yeah.
when they come in and they haven't had a drink yet, and you know them, right?
Yeah.
And they have this one personality, and as
Oh,
as the first drink goes down, you see the personality shift a little bit.
Oh, for sure.
And it's really fun as a sober person to watch,
Mm-hmm.
because I never recognized that in myself, that my personality started to shift.
I never felt like it happened.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I know it happened.
I think because we were drinking. I mean, for me, I was drinking so fast. I was trying to get drunk. I was never
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna
I
go out
drank
and
like
have
that.
fun. I'm drinking a blackout.
Same. But I've definitely
I tried
was aware.
not to black. I didn't drink
tried
to black out.
I tried not to black out.
I usually threw up before I blacked out.
Oh,
That was
gosh.
not I wasn't very good with alcohol. I mean,
Okay.
I'm more of a drug addict,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
I
it was
could-
weird. I'll never forget my friend Todd Didichuk.
who?
Todd Didichuk. We went to the bars together. Whenever he went to the bars, he would say, "Let's go get sexy." Like that's what we said
Yeah.
when we started to go drink. Let's go get sexy.
Yeah, because
You know?
now you're like
Yeah.
like with
Because
it.
you feel sexy.
Yeah,
right?
you're feeling
Put some
sexy.
alcohol in you
Yeah.
and you
when
feel
it's like,
sexy.
yeah, bro, you're not sexy, you're sloppy.
Yeah.
That was me,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Me too.
I was not
Not
sexy.
cute. I was not cute whatsoever.
No,
At all.
I was always the most drunk,
Yeah.
and the only girls that were left were the ugly ones. And I'm like, fuck that. Like that's how it ended up for me every time.
Yeah.
It was
Fucking the ugly chick.
no, I would.
God bless. You're doing the Lord's work.
No, I would.
man.
I wouldn't.
I
No,
like her.
I would go home alone because I wouldn't fuck the ugly chick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Still had some dignity.
yeah. I
at
had
that
some
point.
dignity.
I always
Okay.
wanted to keep the
Yeah.
party going, and I was
Same.
like, wait, where is everyone going?
Yeah.
Like, we're just getting it popping.
They were all going
Right.
home to have sex.
Right.
or go, like, get ready to go to work the next day.
Yeah.
Right.
Sex
like-
and then work.
Right. No.
That's what
Sex.
normal people do. They go to the bar, they go home, they have sex, they go to bed, and they get up the next day and go to work. That's not what alcoholics do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I personally wasn't having a lot of sex.
Me
When
neither.
Nobody wanted a piece of this.
Not at all.
'Cause you're like sloppy at the
Oh,
end.
terrible.
Yeah, and I think that I would probably run people off. I would have boyfriends. I had really good boyfriends, really good, sweet, kind boyfriends that would just be like worried.
Yeah, sure.
And then they would put me in the corner at the club, like, oh, she's just taking a nap. She'll
Yeah.
be back. And then I'd be back, and they'd be kind of running behind me, like,
Oh, you're the real deal, huh?
And yeah, I have an ex, and he used to call me Wolverine because I would just like, I would if I got something happened, I would just walk it, like brush it off, and I would just regrow, regroup, and then go for it again. It was like nothing could stop me. And I look back on it now and laugh, but like how crazy to have dated some. But like I'm not gonna date somebody like that. I'm leaving you in the dust,
Right?
But like God bless these sweet men that were like and they weren't even in a relationship. They were getting laid a lot because I would just drink to pass out.
Yeah.
I really was very uncomfortable in my own body. And I was completely like a reluctant participant in my own life. And alcohol was the lubrication that allowed me to get through the simplest of interactions because I just didn't like myself. I don't know why, truly, for whatever reason. I was, raised with religion, raised in a nice family home. I do want to bring up, I think that my mom, I love her so very dearly, but I think she has a lot of not positive self-talk. And looking back on that now, I think that I got some of that. I'm not a mother yet, but when I do become a mother, I want to try to be very mindful of that. Because I think when you're growing up and you see your mom, like, my mom will say things. I just went to visit her in Idaho. She's not listening. Otherwise, I'd say hi. My mom doesn't use the internet.
Yeah.
But she'd say, oh, but my hair doesn't look good like this, or my skin looks bad, or, why don't wear things like that, make me look fat. And I'm like, I think maybe this is where I got a little bit. And it's not that she was a bad mom, but now I go back home and I'm paying a little more attention. When you're sober, you pick up on things faster.
Yeah.
I'm coming up on 6 years actually in 2 weeks.
Oh my God,
Nice.
amazing.
I feel like I'm in a bit of a stride. I certainly don't know it all,
Sure.
but I'm in a bit of a stride now, and I'm able to pay attention. I'm less in my own head, and I'm able to pay attention more to my surroundings, which I'm so grateful for. But I went back home and I heard a lot of that, and I'm like, oh, man, that's such shit, because I wonder if that was perhaps in my head kind of like the voice I was drinking to quiet. I know it was one of the voices, like my head was really, really loud growing up, really loud. If I was on the farm, I'd think, oh, I should live in the city with my friends.
Sure.
Or if I was, then we moved to the city and I would be, oh, I miss the farm, or I miss this, or I miss that. So it's like irritable, restless, and discontent from such a young age. No matter where I was at, what I was doing, I was never present. And so I think about that. I'm like, oh man, like I want to be really mindful about things like that, because when you're little, you're just soaking everything
For
up.
sure, you're a sponge.
Yeah. And so that's one of my goals that I have. Even inside of my head, I'm like telling myself, like, you're cool now, like you're sober, you're doing different esteemable acts, like you're good now. It's okay to talk yourself up now and
totally
again.
is.
And
No, it's the most important conversation that you have, because
Right.
It's going to make you or break you. If you're not
Right.
talking great things to yourself, then the other voice is going to win.
Right.
And that's not good.
Sometimes I go a little too far though. Sometimes I get on podcasts and I'm like, oh my God, God damn it. Like where did I get that? Where did that come from? Did somebody just reach up inside and open up my mouth and I'll say something and I'm just like, oh, Jesus. But that's fine.
Jane, did you want to ask her the question that you normally ask every guest at the beginning?
I do want to ask, but I want to. Yes,
It's a hook. No.
it's a hook. I was waiting for the right time.
It's
Was
now.
was it like a minute ago? CJ, I'm wondering. You're live. You're a loving individual. I don't want to say bubbly, but you're so high energy and good spirited.
Thank you.
Great personality, fun loving,
Thank you.
easygoing, happy. What brought you to your knees? Like, where did this grow from?
You know, oh gosh, I probably, like most of us, had a slew of the almost to your knees, the almost situations where you get away with stuff and you're like calling out to God and you're like, oh no, I'm never going to drink again. I'm never going to drink again. You just give me out this
like
one
crazy.
thing. And I mean, I had multiple DUIs, multiple driving on suspended license, multiple wreckage of my past, leaving good people kind of in the dust and just scratching their head like, what was that? Like, family issues, you know, no longer being invited to family affairs, family dinners, graduations, birthdays, different things. When I was 18, I got kicked out of my mom and stepdad's house because I was throwing a party. And the cops like kicked in the door. I'm like, why did you guys do that to the door? It's just like a house, but it's a small town. You know, it's probably the most action they'd seen. You're welcome to those cops. You know, they're getting real excited. That's a big deal. I got kicked out. I had always had a job. I'd always been able to hold down a job, which was one of the things that I told myself, well, I have a job. I pay all my bills. I'm not an alcoholic, you know. And so I always had a good work ethic. So I kind of bounced around. I lived with friends and was still able to maintain my job. But that was kind of started to be the eye-opener for me. Proceeded to get a couple DUIs, lose a couple of friendships, lose a couple relationships. And when I knew I had a problem with alcohol. And I also, I'm going to assume it's safe to talk about drugs, but I also loved cocaine once I got, not for cocaine, but because it allowed me to drink more. You know, you get a little less drunk when you do the cocaine. So I love to use those in tandem. And I felt like I was going okay, but I always knew I had a problem. I had a short-lived sobriety, white knuckle sobriety. If you're a normie, it's just where you're not in a 12-step program and you're just literally white knuckling your way through it for a relationship, somebody who didn't drink or do drugs. And he was like, I'm going to leave you if you keep doing this. And I was like, oh, okay. And then we broke up shortly after I relapsed, and I'll never forget, I started right off where I had left off. Like how we say in the 12 steps, you pick up right where you left off. And I had thought at the time, I remember thinking, oh, I could probably have a drink. It was a 4th of July, really beautiful Malibu party. And I thought, I'm in a classy environment, so I'll have a few and I'll be okay. I mean, it was maybe 90 minutes tops. And I was like hanging out the window of the car, going to get a bag, like, wow. And I had lost everything, and I just drank for 4 days straight. So at that point I was like, oh wow, this is kind of getting bad. And then of course, like any good alcoholic and drug addict, I proceeded to do more research. But I had it in the back of my head that I had a problem at that point. And those two things were kind of helping guide me towards that. I met someone who had he had like a light in his eyes, and he was so friendly and he was so happy and he was cracking jokes, and I had been set up on a date with him. And I just thought, like, I want what this person has. Like, he's killing it at life. And I found out that he was sober. And I remember at the time, I'm like, he probably doesn't drink. He probably still does cocaine, drugs, because he's so happy. He's so friendly. He's so enjoying of himself. Like, this cannot be sobriety. This is not like, you know. And that weekend we had went, and it was Easter weekend, and we had went and had a beautiful dinner, and I was showing off a piece of jewelry he had gotten me. It was like a dream relationship. And I had no reason to go off the rails. And that weekend, I ended up going off the rails, and I almost ended up jumping out of his car on the freeway. I don't know what. Apparently, I'm just like getting ready to jump out of a car when I drink too, which is not good, obviously. Yeah. And he was sober. We've been dating for a few months, and he looked at me. The next morning, you know, he looked at me from across like a couch. Like, this couch felt a mile long too, by the way. We're at his house, and he's sitting on one end, like the furthest end away from me, because he's like terrified at this point. And I come out and I'm like, I know something's up. You guys know, I don't know anyone listening if you've ever had that where it's just like you wake up the next morning and you don't know what you did, but you know it was bad, you know. And he was like, I can't do this. And for the first time in my adult life, I saw someone who loved me. He wasn't mad at me. But I just saw him like fading.
Yeah.
You know, there was no argument. There was no fight. There was no big blow up. It was just I could see this person leaving mentally. And I was like, fuck, not this again. Not this again. Someone that I love, someone that I admire, someone that I want more time with because, you know, like I also get addicted to people.
Sure, yeah.
There's another program for that. But someone that I am desiring to do more with, and they're just leaving, and it felt, for whatever reason, it felt different at that point. And I was like, okay, take me one of those meetings. I'm going to raise my hand because, you know, I'd been a few times in support of, but I was like, I need a meeting. I need to go to one of those meetings. I'm going to raise my hand. And he was like, okay. And at first I was really scared and I thought, oh, you know, I don't know what this is going to look like. I'm just trying to save the relationship, you know? So I got into it like for a guy, essentially. However, you know, however you get there is how you get there. And I'm really grateful I stayed. But there was so many different things like leading up. You know, now I think about that story. I went to the Marina Center, and if anyone in LA or LA area typically knows the Marina Center, there was like, you know, it's not like this anymore, so I could kind of call it out. There's like rats and like cockroaches, and it's like dark, and people are like getting up and going and getting high in the bathrooms. It's not like that anymore. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking about going to a meeting at the Marina Center, they have fixed it up. They have fixed her up. She's shiny and new. But like, that's how desperate I was. I was like willing to go to this
any length
bottom of the barrel situation just to get a little bit of sobriety fed back to me. And you know, it wasn't the most pivotal thing that happened or the scariest thing that happened, but I'll never forget the feeling of someone fading from me.
Right.
They're physically there, but they're fading from you. I don't know what that touched in me, in my heart, in my soul, but that was probably one of the most painful things I had ever experienced, you know, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm not with this person anymore. We didn't talk for a while, but we're good friends now, and I'm grateful for them. But
I was going to ask you what happened to that angel that God sent.
You know, he wasn't much of an angel. he'll listen to this, and he's good about, you know, cleaning his side of the street. But in that particular instance, what he really did was just show me that there's like a better way to live. I have learned since that not everyone in AA has all the answers, you know. I just like came in AA and I was like, okay, great guys, we're good now, you know, like I can trust you, I can trust you, cool. You know, we're all still human, we're all still getting it figured out. But yeah, I'm so grateful because number one, this guy showed me you get to have fun in sobriety. Yeah. When I first got sober, we went everywhere. We went to Vegas. We'd go to clubs. I don't necessarily recommend that, but like that was the way that he lived. And I'm grateful for that because I did have someone who was able to hold me accountable, you know, by my side. So, but yeah, that was how I got sober. Nothing else changed. Nothing else. I still went and did all the same things. But I just wasn't drinking alcohol, and I'm really grateful for that. That's how I learned. Like I got sober so I can have fun. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily live like, oh, I don't go to the club or I don't go to the birthday party where they have an open bar, or I don't, you know, I am around it. Yeah. I'm around it. It's part of my social life. I still have all the same friends. I know that it doesn't go down like that for everyone, but for me, I got sober to have fun. I got sober because I want an even bigger life. I want I want everything that I didn't have the confidence to go and get when I was drinking and doing drugs. You know what I mean? So I couldn't trust myself. Like, who trusts someone that's like got the wine bottle by the bed, you know? And I can't. I'm self-employed, and I've been self-employed for a while. I do the OnlyFans thing, and I'm so grateful I've been able to exist on the internet for a very long time, even since before then.
Yeah.
And so like I'm my own fucking boss
Yeah.
too. Like, fuck, I don't have a boss calling me going, where CJ, where are you? So that was kind of a double-edged sword as well. But I'm grateful that I did get to experience with that person, because he didn't cut me any slack in that. He's like, we're going out. Like, you're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
You're going to sink or you're going to swim.
Yeah.
And while I wouldn't recommend that for everyone, that's what worked for me.
Yeah.
And my life has gotten bigger as a result. Just, I would have never thought, like, giving something up that I would have given up alcohol, like, at least a decade ago.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Yeah.
If I would have known
What you know now.
what I knew now,
Yeah.
what I know now, yeah. And when you get sober, when I got sober, I started having way more fun, because the way I drank, you know, like people will ask, "Oh, don't you miss it, or do you miss it?" No, I don't fucking miss that. I was like in the gutter, sending out all these text messages, you know, like
hear her
FaceTiming
You hear her? You hear her? Do you still have your OnlyFans?
I do.
Just one, right?
Just one.
Okay.
He has
Yeah.
just one fan.
Just one person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I
listen,
just started.
It's one more than some.
See, thank you. You know what? When I was younger, I was just looking to get by each day.
Yeah.
You know, get by with pleasure. I don't know if it's pleasure or satisfaction or happiness or whatever you wanted to call it. And I would put that into different categories. So you got food. I love to eat. Sex. You know what I mean?
We know you love sex.
And,
yes,
um,
yes.
And there was maybe one other thing, like breathing.
Shopping?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
What-
No,
what-
I had
when
like
you were younger, did you have style? Were you stylish?
No.
I don't know. It was the
I mean,
80s,
you're-
bro.
Oh, you're from
It
Canada.
was the fucking 80s, and I was from a
No.
small town in
Eh,
Canada.
So no style. We're gonna go with
I
there.
don't know, no style. I did have style, bro. I was Miami Vice. I used to back in the I wore a white jacket, nothing underneath,
Oh.
buff, playing hockey my whole life. Yeah, that's how I
Hairy
dressed.
chest, hairy-
No, shaven,
Oh my god.
Hairy
shaven,
chest.
shaven.
80s, bro.
No, I was like, what's his name, Sonny, on Miami Vice. What's his name?
Did you-
Crockett.
Gold chain.
Fuck yeah, I did.
But you're Canadian, so it needs
Yeah.
to be jeans.
Jeans. I had.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah, it
the,
was
white-
supposed to be a
Jean
jean
tuxedo.
jacket.
the cardigan with no.
What do they call that?
Yeah.
The what?
Yeah,
The
Canadian tuxedo.
Canadian tuxedo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I wore. Jean jacket with
go.
nothing underneath. I
That's
have pictures
right.
of
Oh
it.
my
Yeah,
god.
Okay.
100%. Oh yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I should have at the bar half naked, bro.
Speedo.
Fuck yeah, if I had to.
I mean, did you wear
Few
the
contests. Yeah.
da-dun-da-duns?
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do whatever you can.
Anything
to,
you
like,
can to get that attention, to
Yes.
get by the day.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
what else was life? And even today, like, what are we looking for? We're looking to be happy every day. But you get older, things change.
Right.
Get a little more confident. You know what I'm saying? So your feeling about yourself changes.
Yeah. Your confidence is real.
Yeah.
When you get sober, you no longer
Totally.
have to fake it.
Totally.
If I'm somewhere and I'm not enjoying myself, I just leave.
And the work ethic that we have. From,
And I love that about
that's
myself.
see,
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
You don't have to drink more to stay.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Just get up
No.
and- As a matter of fact, you do that every day. You just get up and leave.
Yes.
God
As
bless.
soon as you get bored.
Yes. I just get up and leave.
As soon as you're done, he'll probably be in his truck
Oh,
and
for
on the
sure.
freeway
Meander.
before
Let
you.
it- yeah.
Before you
Well, I'll give you a hug goodbye.
You'll still be in
Okay.
the bathroom.
He won't-
Pee before you leave.
he
Yeah.
won't say goodbye to us.
No, no. Them, no.
I kind of love that. That's how I treat my friends, though. I'm like, you can't be mad at me for leaving. If I
No.
wanted to leave, if I want to leave, I go.
Yeah.
My friends get it. They're just
We
like,
we were at
"He's
a
gone."
we were at a big event in Long Beach, and we start looking around and we were like, "Where the fuck is Shane?"
That's kind of iconic.
It
You
is
just say
iconic.
goodbye, you just leave.
Yeah.
And then when you're his friend, you know, you're like, oh, he's gone. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, did he say goodbye? No, but I can tell you that he's left.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
If he's not right by us, he's fucking
I'm
gone.
not right next to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if we're together, we're
We're
together.
together, yeah.
I never leave their side.
That's the beauty of being sober, though.
Yeah,
Like, I
isn't
just
it
do what I
crazy?
want. Like, I don't, I apologize, obviously, like, if I need to, but,
Yeah.
like, I'm going to fight back, too, sometimes on an apology. Like, I wanted to go. I didn't want to be there, or, you know, I didn't feel like that was for me. If you're my friend, you get it.
Yeah.
And if you're my friend and you want to leave or go somewhere, I support you going. You don't need to
100%.
say bye to me.
But
Yeah.
but even for me, like now, I don't know if it was confidence or whatever, but I would change my clothing 3 or 4 times before I went out at night. And
Yeah.
even when I went out at night, if I was at the bar and I'm thinking, well, I'm feeling kind of funny, I'd get in the car, I'd drive fucking home, I'd change, and I'd go back to the same
my
bar.
goodness. Yeah.
Like I was a little whacked out like that.
Yeah.
Like the insecurities.
But that's just your self-consciousness.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why you drink, to
Yeah.
drown out that voice.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have that today. Well, I still kind of have it, but I don't I don't buy into
Why?
it.
Yeah.
Why is he telling us?
Like
Yeah.
I don't feed into it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
As
Emily
much.
could say, "Wow, the ugly pants," and I'm okay with it today.
Right.
You know?
When
my
did she say
pants.
that? Today? She
No.
likes those pants
likes
that
these
you're wearing.
pants.
That's why you wear them like
Bro, it's like
three of
three
the
times a
5
week.
days a week.
That's true.
Because Emily said, "Oh, I like those pants."
She says she likes the black one, yeah.
Okay. Little flattery will get
Yeah,
you
that's what I'm
everywhere.
saying. Every
That's
time I
what-
see the
yeah.
print press, go,
Yes.
Emily wants me to wear those today.
That's right.
I put
Those
'em
are
on.
top of the pile.
Yeah.
There you go. Good man. He listened.
Wow. So your mother and father are divorced.
Divorced.
Your mother
yeah.
remarried. How about your dad?
My dad actually remarried the most incredible Chinese woman.
Oh, good for him.
She is like 15 years younger.
Oh, really
He
good
mo-
for him.
He moved into her house.
Oh,
she got
damn.
him right. Yeah. And she's so cool. She knows all these different
Where do I sign up?
church.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Church.
Noted.
Not
That's
that.
the
Not
spot.
that.
Oh,
not-
you want
yeah,
to
you
point
go.
at me?
You go to the. You got to stop going to the tabernacle.
Yeah.
What is it? Is that?
No, it's not the tabernacle.
What
It's, it's called the brothel.
You're such.
wait, you're married though?
gotta
You're
stay
going
with
to
the
the
brothel.
brothel?
No.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, you know how it is.
There you go.
You know,
Check the receipts.
you gotta check the receipts.
Oh my gosh.
No, you're paying cash.
No, I'm not. I use my Visa to get in. I only pay cash for the tip.
There-
Oh my god.
So they keep all of it. So they're not taxed. There you go. That's why you're allowed to come back home
Yeah,
after.
exactly.
You're kind and caring in
Yeah,
that way.
yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Are you currently in a relationship right now?
I'm currently in a relationship. Yeah.
How was it having your first relationship being sober?
Oh my God. When me and that guy broke up, that was so scary. Dating, being sober is so scary because you're really concerned that everyone is just like, let's go, have a glass of wine, like on a dating app or even as friends, like, oh, we'll meet up for a drink. And that alone, you're like, oh God, I don't drink. What's going to happen? Now, before I was dating this person, I just will go, if somebody says, oh, you meet up for a drink or whatever, if it's somebody that I'm into, because I don't do coffee dates, that's a whole other thing. But if it's somebody that I'm into, they want to go for a drink, I would just say, yeah, because a drink doesn't always need to mean alcohol. But I think a lot of people too, when we're dating as a sober person, you freeze up even in that place where you're
Sure.
like, they want to go for a drink. Oh God, what am I going to tell them? Nah. It's like you could still go to the bar. You could still get a drink at the bar. It just doesn't have to have alcohol in it. It's really simple. And I do think we as humans, and then again, probably as addicts, we just overcomplicate.
Oh, for sure.
You freak out and you're like, "What?" and if I don't get a drink with alcohol, then they're going to judge me. It's like, people don't give a fuck as long as,
As long as you're not judging them. and being
yeah,
weird
as long
about
as
it.
they can
Like,
have their drink, they
yeah.
don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've often found people that date me, they feel like it's a plus.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I don't know if guys would get the same response because
Sure.
I think for
know what you're thinking.
I think for
Yeah. Microphone.
But
buddy.
what?
for
Yeah.
for women, I think a man might sit across from a sober woman and go, "Oh wow, this is so wonderful.
Yeah.
She cares
I
about
agree.
herself. She values. She's not gonna go out with the girls, get
Not a
drunk,
mess.
and make out with some stranger, or whatever." But on the other end, a woman, if a guy doesn't drink, if I'm a woman who drinks and a guy doesn't drink, I might be like, "Oh well, what are we gonna do? Well, how's that gonna look? How are we gonna hang out? I want to go here. I want to go there. He's not gonna drink with me." So I empathize with men for that, because I do kind of think that there might be a bit of a disparity.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think that, but that's like me coming from
You don't drink.
exactly.
Yeah.
I would be like, "Oh wow,
That's a good. That's a good question. I wonder. We should do a poll
Mm-hmm.
because I am interested because I think
Yeah.
for sure 100% men, if they are sitting across a woman and she says that like she's sober, doesn't drink, I think they see it as like a huge plus.
Immediate
Because
plus.
there's multiple times that I've seen and witnessed even women that are not alcoholics
Yeah.
a mess
Mm-hmm.
and like doing things that they would never do if they were sober, and like men don't want to deal with that, especially if they're looking for a wife. What?
Right.
You're not
You?
looking for a wife in the fucking bar. I would deal with that every night, every weekend. I would deal
Yeah,
with
but
that.
you're a mess.
Yeah.
Well, I was a mess, but the thing is, I don't think in my entire life has there ever been a woman that said I don't drink. I've never had that. I've never had that.
Well, sorry for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have you had that with a guy when you like before?
Yes.
Oh, you have.
Yeah.
Where he said, "Sorry, I don't drink."
What, that he didn't drink?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Jonathan
okay.
never drank.
Okay. Yeah.
Or he
Wow.
doesn't drink.
Weird. Okay.
Or
yeah.
he drank in college, but when I met him,
Okay.
he was already done drinking. So
Wow.
I met many people that didn't.
And
drink.
then,
I always felt like it was.
Out here, I've
great.
met, but back in my hometown, no.
I always looked at it, but it's also coming from somebody that obviously has a substance abuse problem.
Yeah.
So like
I
when
was like, great. He can drive me home.
I was
This
just
is incredible.
Totally. I
Yeah.
literally looked at it like, wow, that's like actually great. I look at it even obviously today as a positive, because I think, I mean, we've mentioned it, and Chad, you mentioned it a lot too, is like it's actually a massive attraction if a man doesn't drink, because it's also it kind of trickles into all the other things that they're doing in their life, because they're going to be able to perform from a business standpoint, all the levels of like what we do on our day-to-day life way better than the guy that's out getting sloshed.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
so to me that's an attractive quality.
But if
You don't
I'm a
agree
woman
because
that's
you drink.
drinking, yeah.
No, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying this, that I know a lot of people, extremely high achievers. Like this one guy I know is a French guy in Winnipeg. His only client was the church, the Catholic Church. That was his only client. He had them for 30 years. That's how good of a lawyer he was. Today, this man is decrepit. He's in a home. He drank a bottle every day, and
That'll do it.
and he lived comfortably, very high end. As soon as he stopped working, he kept drinking. He hit hard.
Yeah, which goes to the point where it's a quality that it's really beneficial to.
I'm agreeing with you. In the end, it's not.
I just like the no drinking thing for only, and I don't judge.
Not
I'm
at
not
all.
judge- for
Hats off to
myself,
the people that can.
for health reasons.
Yeah, health reasons. I'm with you.
Because alcohol is actually the worst substance for your body of all the drugs, including meth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It is poison
Yeah.
and toxic to the body.
I didn't know
100%.
that.
Oh
Yeah.
Andrew Huberman talks about it a
Yeah.
lot, and same with Chris.
And I like it for myself because even one glass, even one, or you get a little buzzed. Are you able to function
Correct.
at as high of a level as somebody who's? And I obviously I'm in the program, and I love recovery, and I love being in recovery. I'm not saying though that I there's a lot of people. There's a lot of functioning alcoholics. There's people that have like a bourbon,
Sure.
once in a while.
Yeah.
And
Or like a
and a
celebra-
cigar,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but they don't really, and that's totally cool and great.
And that's what I mean. It's like it's definitely so
But
different.
but
for
I will
everyone.
tell you guys, because I dated sober, right? And wasn't necessarily a requirement that the person that I was dating was sober, but like I went out on 10 dates before I met my wife, and they were all horrible. There was something about every one of them that was like, what do you call it when you're like, that's absolute
Yeah,
a
that's
deal
a-
breaker?
that's
It was
a
a deal
absolute
breaker.
no.
Like blazing weed before you came to my lunch
God.
date. Like
no.
I
That's
was like
so gross.
See, that's
Even when
so
I was
gross.
drinking, I'm
Yeah.
like, don't come
Like-
smelling like weed.
all stoned.
Yeah, and like totally dumb,
Yeah.
not attractive.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
not a good thought to go on a date.
I feel like if you're a stoner, you need to date.
Date a stoner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that was a
Definitely
deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
But if a girl would have wanted a glass of wine at dinner, or if my wife would, but what was great about when I met my wife, though, we met on a dating app. She was sober, and I was sober.
Oh, that's cool.
So, it worked. Because I also had another rule where I wasn't going to date where I went to meetings.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Wait. What?
I wouldn't date somebody inside of the Narcotics
Oh,
Anonymous
yeah.
meetings
No,
that
that's
I went
rough.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good.
And I
that's a
went
good
to
rule.
there was big ones out here, and there was good
That's a good
looking
rule.
women in there, but I was just like, no, I'm not. This is my,
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and it's
Safe
also
haven.
Good for you,
jeopardizing
bro.
potentially your own sobriety, because as we all know, sometimes things get messy, and then all of a sudden,
Well, and it was usually the newcomers that were really good looking, so I was like,
yeah, you don't wanna fuck with that.
Yeah.
yeah,
they're sick.
Yeah. I've dated
Couple
someone newer in
newcomers.
sobriety, just one, and I can say I would advise against it.
Yeah.
Cannot
Yeah.
recommend. There's a real reason why they say don't drink for the first
no,
year.
totally, totally agree. But I think also it goes to along the lines of like why we're very much like non-judgmental people, because there are going to be those individuals that are super high achievers and can have like the bourbon and cigar
Right.
and continue to live like an excellent fulfilled life. It's just I am not one of those people, you know, that's all. And then finding what is your deal breakers,
Right.
you know, that's like the whole figuring it out. And also our conversation is going to be very different than if there was 4 of us sitting here and we were in our 20s. You know, we're
Oh, bro, I didn't have.
Right.
There was no deal breaker when I was
Yeah.
in my 20s.
Yeah.
It was like,
do you look good?
do you look good? Yeah. Do you look good?
If you do, we're rolling.
Yeah.
And Shane
Shane doesn't
that
give
might
a
even that might not even been what
Shane-
it said. They didn't even
does
care
not
if they look good.
discriminate.
You're a
You're a yes man.
I am a yes man.
Yeah.
what were you, a multifaceted?
Yes, I was a yes. I never
Said no.
said no.
That's
I just never said no.
the
I thought it was bad
majority
to
of
say
men.
no.
That's the majority
Damn,
of
that's the-
men.
That is true.
Yeah, but that's like how you guys are, you know, through the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see nothing wrong with that.
Are you in
Right.
a relationship right now?
Yes.
I'm in-
You asked this
I'm in-
question. Are you?
yeah.
Wow, you
are-
okay?
Oh man, are you all right?
You have an episode?
What?
Are you having?
Old age episode?
Wait, oh my God.
asked the same
I'm
question
I'm
twice.
gonna be
Right?
40 in a few
Yeah.
months.
Just like 3 minutes ago.
No age. No age.
You
No
asked her,
3
are you-
minutes
are you-
ago.
3 minutes ago, you said,
But
are you?
I didn't remember her
worried.
question.
I'm
I
worried.
didn't remember her answer. If she said she was
She said
currently in
yes.
one.
She
I
said
am,
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
I'm actually in a relationship with a normie. So, I know you're gonna get it. I'm scooting over this
That's
way.
what I listen. I look forward to.
I don't want
I
no
look
part of
forward
this.
to it,
I got
believe me.
it. I'm going
What
over this
Wow.
way.
Which way did you scoot?
I'm in the.
Towards
I
him or
scooted
away?
over
Scooted
here.
Okay.
Scooted
I'm like,
away.
you're gonna get it.
Wait,
That's
what did
out
you
of the
say?
range.
What did you say? She scooted away from you? Good on her.
That's
Well done. First one.
that,
First
no,
time
first
was-
one.
first
that-
time.
that's typical.
No one
It-
scoots from
at
Shane.
the- at
No
the-
one scoots from Shane.
At the beginning, what happened
Wow.
when she said that she aligned with Shane?
Oh,
that has
yes.
never ever happened on the
Oh.
podcast before, ever.
I've never asked the same
I'm
question.
just playing.
Yeah.
Except for that crazy girl that you remember, the crazy girl that.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
That I really got into at the end.
Yeah.
First, I didn't like her.
Yeah.
And then I started playing with her.
Your
Yep.
crazy's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There
yeah.
is
crazy
crazy-
recognized
Yeah.
crazy.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
locked.
Yeah.
They're like, yes.
I am in a relationship with a normie.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for. Where do you meet him?
Through friends.
Oh, that's nice. That's
Yeah.
the best.
He lives in Las Vegas. He's a plastic surgeon out there.
Oh
good
my
for
God.
you.
Score.
So it's like a
Oh.
win-win.
Score.
It's like a win-win.
Hell yeah. That's
He's a good-
amazing.
He's a good guy. That he's like a
What
good,
does he? What does he specialize in plastic surgery?
everything.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I'll have to look him up. Just
Well, hang
Yeah.
on a second.
I want to get
He-
the.
Hey, Chance, you can
I
hook
wanna
us
get-
up. We'll go to Vegas.
Yeah.
I want to get the fat transfer underneath.
I
my
just
eyes.
had that.
Underneath
I
my
just
eyes.
had
What?
that a few months ago.
what?
get the-
Yeah.
What is it?
That's what my
The
sister said I need.
Fat
Do a plastic
transfer.
surgery party
Yeah.
I
in
got
Vegas.
fat into my face. And then I had a lip lift, so I didn't have to get any more injections.
Sure.
And we also did this crazy laser called the Ultra Clear, where it just melts like the first part of your face.
Dude, I just did the CO2. I'm still
Yeah.
like
How-
recovering.
how,
It's gnarly. I was fucked up. Like
But it's good. It's so good.
It's
Like
good
your
for you,
skin
yeah.
just glows after, but it's kind of wild.
I know. I need
it
to
is
get
wild.
that
I'm
shit
still
done
so I'm on
too.
day
Can't do it with the beard and mustache,
5,
bro.
I think.
You
You
can't.
look
You can
incredible.
do around
This is
it.
the first time I
The
put
makeup.
makeup on.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth
literally
shaving
couldn't.
the beard
Yeah,
off
it was
for
so
one
fucked up.
It's
week.
just falling off.
I just don't
Like,
leave the house.
Yeah, it looked.
I wouldn't leave. I couldn't leave the house.
Yeah.
Why?
No, but you have to do
I just
stuff
wouldn't.
like this.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like
It's important.
No.
It's important.
Yes,
Yeah, it is.
for sure.
Especially,
Yeah, you gotta
especially,
take care of yourself.
especially because we're not in radio. We're in film.
We are in film. Yeah.
But it's so these are the things now that I do sober because I love myself.
Right.
100%.
I burn my face off
Yes.
and I
Right,
get plastic
there you go.
surgery because I love myself. Yeah. I want to look good. I want to
I
feel,
feel good.
Yeah.
Totally. So it's like, who is somebody to say like, I saw, it's funny because I saw a reel and it was really funny. It was this older lady and she was talking about like, you know, coloring her hair and getting Botox. And she was tired of the ladies like talking shit about her. And she basically was saying like, who cares what I do if it makes me feel good?
Right.
Fuck off.
Right.
Like,
I have to be honest. I think that sometimes it's just people that come from lack. Let's be honest, plastic surgery is expensive. I haven't always been dating this guy.
Sure.
So I've paid for probably about 70% of my plastic surgery out of my pocket, hard-earned money, also well before OnlyFans.
Sure.
So this is stuff that I worked hard to have the money to be able to swipe the card and just go for it. So I just think that if somebody is upset about it, sorry, you just probably can't fucking afford it. And I don't give a fuck because I couldn't afford it either. But I made it happen because I fucking wanted it.
surgery
go.
wouldn't
Yeah.
even
I agree.
help.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. What? Say
I
that?
said, or the plastic surgery wouldn't even help. And they're-
Well, I don't know though. Some of
That's
this
jacked
plastic
up.
surgery, it
It's
be
amazing.
helping.
Yeah.
It be
Dude.
helping.
That's
I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of before and afters.
Yeah.
Where
I kind of feel
Men
bad
are
about
cha-
that
men are
statement I
changing.
just made right there.
No.
I feel like
I was in the mood.
Men are changing
Huh?
into
It was all in the
women.
rhythm.
and
all
you're
in the
doing
mood.
it in good fun and you're not
Yeah.
like dead ass serious.
Yeah, you're not.
dead ass.
I
Why did you say dead ass?
Because
Better
I'm
than
around
flat
your daughter.
ass.
I'm around your
Do you
daughter.
know what dead ass means?
yeah, I'm on TikTok.
You are.
Wait,
What does dead ass mean?
Means
like
serious.
The most serious.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Dead ass.
super
See,
serious.
so I said it right.
And you like you were just like, it just
It
like
worked.
flowed out, just like you say it all the time.
Thank you.
Hanging out with
Dead
my
ass
Yes.
serious about the plastic surgery. That's right.
Shane, dead ass.
Dead
We're
ass,
going to get
baby.
some
I have
But I also
no
Shane,
idea what that means.
dead ass. We're
But I
going
also
to get
think
some
that
I'm
plastic.
going to her guy.
People spend their money on a variety of things.
Right.
You know, so it's like if an individual wants to spend their money
Right.
on something that makes them feel good,
Right.
Yeah.
who is anybody to say what that is? Because some people channel that into
There's
You spend your money. Nobody can take the money with you. Like life,
I've-
you'll never get out
dude,
alive. Like spend it while you're
totally.
here. When I got my first boob job, because I'm like 3.5 boob jobs in now.
okay.
A half. There was a half in there. I worked at Walmart in the evenings and I waitressed in the morning.
Okay.
And I scrimped and saved. I had $1 every day for lunch and I found this TV dinner that was 75 cents.
Yeah.
So that I could save for my first boob
Sure.
job because that's what I fucking wanted.
Yeah.
And this is with all the drinking and the partying
Yeah.
still involved. And I worked hard because I knew that as I didn't have anything, I just started out with like a nipple. So there
Yeah.
was like nothing up there. So I knew that I had to do something
Yeah.
for myself. And so I scrimped and I saved. Now I didn't have a family or anything, but like I was a young person. I wasn't educated formally or anything like that. I was working regular beginning jobs and I knew that that's what I wanted and I saved up. And I think it's so weird when people are, especially other women,
I
are
feel
so,
like women
judgy.
are kind of the
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I don't like it.
I don't either.
I don't like it.
there's
and there's
this,
a lot of men that get plastic surgery now.
Of
too.
Hell yeah.
So many, yeah.
Yeah, a ton.
there's this
We got to. We gotta stay up with the times, bro.
Well, I think that nothing wrong with it. There's like a big difference between somebody being like obsessed with themselves, where it's like unattractive,
Yeah.
and then someone taking care of
Yeah,
themselves.
there you go.
You know, where it's
there's
like.
this lady at our gym. She has
Boobs?
plastic surgery. Her
Boobs?
boobs
I
are
haven't seen her.
they're this big, like that. Yeah,
How
about
do you
right
walk?
there.
How do you walk by a person like that?
I mean,
I stare. I can't help
but
it.
she's
She's funny. She's got 2.5 million followers on Instagram.
Oh wow.
Unpopular opinion. She wants you to stare.
Of
Yeah.
course, 100%.
When you have tits out to here,
No, out to
you're
here.
not like, oh,
Even
my
no.
I'm
hands
just
all
an
the way.
innocent little like.
And then
You
she
want like
has-
she's pissed off if you don't stare.
She has
Yeah.
the butt implants. I mean,
Oh.
it is insane. I've never seen like
Like, does it look
she's
good?
on she's famous on TikTok
Okay.
because of her insane
Body.
body.
I feel like it's maybe Alexis something or something like that.
Oh, I'm gonna
I
look
feel
her
like
up.
I know this woman, and I've heard or through the grapevine. I've known her, and she's a
She
very
does-
nice.
Yeah,
woman,
she's nice,
like,
blonde
yeah.
haired lady. She
Yeah.
she has a midget that does funny stuff.
Are we allowed to say
She
midget?
wants you to stare.
Yeah.
Midget and big
Yeah.
boobs?
Yeah,
You're not
That's a
hanging
good
out
like,
combo.
Like
The
the midget
midget
will
with
come
those
running up
tits?
and like
Jump into
and,
her
like-
boobs?
Yeah.
What?
like that.
Jump into the cleavage.
I mean,
hey, honey.
It's
Yeah.
funny. Like
I like that.
I found out about this girl because Donna was at the pool at Lifetime and she was sending me a Snapchat and I was like that chick's famous. We got to find her on
Yeah.
Oh wow. I need to look
on
her up.
Good for-
TikTok.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, personally, I wouldn't want that. I'd never want that. You
No.
pay me to do that.
No.
But if that's what she wants,
Dude,
this is
totally.
America, baby.
Right?
You get those big ass
Amen.
titties.
Yes.
Yeah, you
You
get
go
to
to
do
the
whatever
gym.
you want.
You
Hell
get your
yeah.
midget buddy, and y'all roll out. Like, I'm not mad at
See,
it.
and it's
too.
America, and we can say
Yeah,
midget.
but here's the thing: even
Don't-
girls with decent boobs, not extraordinary large, but you guys. I mean, you have cleavage.
Yeah.
You wear shirts that you
Cleavage.
know guys are going to be attracted to.
You're
Yeah,
damn fucking
I mean,
right.
that's
I
what we
mean,
bought.
guys can't. I mean, how am I going to look at you and not end up there by accident?
by accident.
I'm always going to end up there.
It's
I'm a
not-
guy.
Look, here's the thing though, Shane. You're not mad at them. You're mad at the girls that wear that shit,
Oh, I get upset.
and then they get
Yeah.
upset at you
for looking at them.
because you're an old man looking at their shit.
Right.
Yeah.
He's looking at my boobs.
I mean, you know, I feel
They
like as
can't
a
wear that. You
woman-
can't wear that shit, and only expect for good-looking
Guys.
Yeah,
guys to look
right.
at you.
Good-looking,
You
young,
have to
hot
be.
guys.
You have to be okay with the
Take the
with the
gamut.
pervert
Right.
at the
Sure.
gym.
Yeah.
I don't mind if
Also
somebody's
staring.
looking. Just don't touch. But you can look.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, don't hurt yourself.
No.
One time, my gal pals and I think it was like, we were young. This is like a high school soccer situation. We're on the corner, like,
Oh,
car
yeah,
wash,
yeah,
car
yeah, yeah,
wash.
yeah.
And then this one guy rear-ended the other.
Oh yeah.
up.
I can
That's
see
And
myself
that-
doing that.
Wild.
Yeah, and that was kind of a pivotal moment for me where I was like, okay,
Wow.
you
Well,
know,
that's
I got-
that's like the power
I
of
got
the pussy.
power.
power of the pussy.
yeah.
That's
Like,
right
right
And
there.
it's a true
Yeah.
power. It's a true power.
Yeah, like homeboy crashes his car.
Bro.
I mean,
so bad.
apparently,
Oh
it
my
really
God.
is. It really is a true power. We know all about your appointment that you're going to tomorrow. So, power of the pussy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's getting a vasectomy.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's kind of know if you had an appointment with a hooker.
Yeah, me too.
or-
No, no.
I'm like, okay.
I just
10
show up for
extra
those.
points.
I don't make appointments.
he-
I just show up for those ones.
He's like, they call me.
Those are the drive-bys. Hey, come on in.
Okay.
When did like diving back in? When did you decide to start OnlyFans?
Well, I think I started in webcamming at first.
Okay.
And that was because I didn't have a license. I couldn't go anywhere.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So then from there, I did the OnlyFans thing. And for me, it's worked out well. I'm like sadly, I'm not one of those women that they're like, I'm making $100,000
Yeah, of
every
course.
month. We're not doing that. But we're doing well. And a lot of the guys on there, I'll get messages too where people are like, I think it's so cool that you're sober. And
Yeah.
it's so incredible, and I'm sober too, or or people say I'm trying to get sober,
Sure.
but so I'm on there. I do like up to Playboy style nudes, but I'm not doing like anything past that. So I'm grateful because I still am able to get a lot of connection with the fans.
Sure. So it's just like sexy pics. It's not like, I mean, even though I feel like OnlyFans gets such a bad rap. Like, I mean,
It
yes, you're
does.
gonna have like craziness on there.
Yeah.
And craziness, I mean by like, I guess
By
depending on
Shane being on.
depending on who you are,
I
because
would
Yeah.
do anything on Only. If my wife allowed me to, I would go fucking crazy on there. I would. It's in my blood.
But that's every man. That's
Yeah.
Is
every
it?
man. Yeah, for the most part. There's always exceptions to the
All right,
rules,
all right.
always, but that is the majority
Wow.
of men.
All right.
That's the beauty of being a man. You get to go off and
do whatever the fuck you want.
have as many partners as you please.
Sure.
And you're not going to be chastised
Sure.
for it.
Sure.
But for the women, we don't. There's a societal, we're on a lower peg. If I come on here and I'm like, oh, I did this
Yes.
with this guy, they're going to be like, whoa, CJ, what's wrong with you? Versus if a man comes on here, when we have male talent on my podcast, people are always like, it's a dream job. I can't believe you get paid to do that. You get to have sex with some of the most beautiful women in the industry. And so in that moment, they're lifting up the women. But when it's the women that come on, it's like fatherless behavior, 304 is ruining the world. This is enough
What's
internet. You're
304?
going to hell. A hoe. 304 is like a hoe.
Oh.
Because on the pagers, you would.
oh my
Text
god, that's
the-
right.
Yeah.
Yep, pager
Yeah.
code.
I think that was.
Whoa.
Yeah. I think that was coined from the Fresh and Fit podcast. So now it's
Oh,
like a
okay, yes.
universally used.
Were you on
term.
Fresh and Fit?
No.
No, okay.
No. I'm not
Um,
going to go on there and argue with people like
Sure.
that. I have my views. I'm not going to go and argue about
Sure.
it. I believe what I believe, and I
Yeah.
don't have to ever try to convince anyone
Sure.
why I believe what
Amen.
I believe. Yeah.
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 How long have you had your OnlyFans?
Probably I feel like maybe a decade.
Yeah?
Yeah.
For you.
I was on it long
Right at the
before, even
start.
before COVID.
Sure.
Yeah. It definitely changed during COVID. It's a lot of fun. It's honestly really even the women that are on there having sex and
Yeah.
doing porn, these women have incredible fan bases. These men love these women. Now, I don't know where these men are that are spending hundreds of
Sure.
thousands of dollars versus the other men that are like 304 fatherless behavior, you're never going to get married. I
You're
don't
like,
know.
where's the gap?
Yeah, I don't know because, and I think some of the angry people online are also perhaps behind closed doors of people that are giving these
we
girls
know that.
money.
We know that. For
You
sure.
know,
We
because
that for
why are you so
Angry?
affected once again by this? Yeah, unless you're kind of feeling as though you're also a victim
They,
to
they're
it.
they're,
you
they're
know?
having to do it because their wives
Oh, are angry.
are angry that they caught
Right.
him once doing something like that. So then
Maybe.
they come out and they go crazy Christian the other
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm Christian and like I'm good with all of it.
Me too.
Right.
You know, like
Right.
'cause there shouldn't like I don't think that Jesus ever came down here to judge anybody except for
No.
the Jewish church.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't say that in a bad way because Jesus was Jewish and
Mm-hmm.
Shane's Jewish, and he was just trying to say, hey, we need to be more loving. That's all he was trying to
Right.
say.
Yeah.
And then man
and to
has
live
really
better.
twisted.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Humans ruin everything.
Humans ruin everything.
Yeah, that's why I probably wouldn't at this point even say I'm a Christian. I'm raised Christian. I'd say at this point I'm spiritual.
Yeah.
Because I think organized religion
Oh, dude, I'm with you right
is
there.
just they've
I'm-
ruined everything.
They really have.
Yeah.
I'm a follower of Christ.
Mhm.
That's like who I seek. His word. is
But we
truth.
don't. I'm not.
But
like,
it's hard to.
I'm not religious. I'm with
Yeah.
you because
Yeah.
I do believe in Jesus, but I'm not religious in
Yeah.
any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
relationship.
My
is
relationship
Right.
is just a relationship with the God that I understand,
Right.
and that God that I understand loves this motherfucker right,
Right.
here because
Good, bad, and
I
ugly.
still
Right.
do some weird shit.
Right. Same.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Same.
like I do weird shit that probably the people in the what do you
Church.
call them? The 30 what?
The 304?
Oh,
The 304s would be like, ew.
Right.
Why are you looking
Right.
at porn or something?
Yeah, but
you
Jesus
know what
also
I'm saying?
is the guy that doesn't judge
Like-
anybody.
Right.
It's like always loving, always forgiving, always kind.
I think that's where man came in and like fucked up religion because now it's used to others.
Yes.
I have a lot
Yes.
of religious trauma actually.
I do
from
too.
Growing up,
Tons.
yeah, being raised very.
And then I was
religiously.
molested in the church, so
Oh, I'm so
you
sorry
know,
to hear that. Yeah, it's awful.
it made me a kind of a good person at the end.
Right.
Yeah,
at the
because it
end,
gives you a
after
lot
you
of-
went
yes.
through it, yeah.
It gives
yeah.
you compassion. It gives you empathy. It gives you, once you're able to like work through it, of course.
Mhm, mhm.
But that's the unfortunate thing I think about organized like religion and those types of institutions, just because it does exactly the polar opposite of what
Yes.
Jesus is like
Yeah.
really primarily what his sole purpose
When I
was
first got into
intended.
AA, when they were talking about God,
Oh,
I
you
was
have a
like,
part of
I was like, okay, is this like a
Right.
church or
Cult.
what are we doing? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm ready to give up
Yeah,
alcohol, but
yeah,
I don't know if I'm
yeah.
like ready to talk about God.
Yeah,
And for a long time,
Sure.
the rooms were my higher powers.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
now,
and that's okay.
yeah,
You know,
now I even am like, even when you're like Jesus, I can't like I don't currently, and I hope that this will continue to evolve. But I don't even say Jesus so much anymore. I say God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Because
say
it's
God
just
almost
like-
95% of the time.
Yeah.
I say God because number one, I don't want people to get as soon as you say Jesus,
Yeah.
people get scared.
Yeah,
They get
I
scared.
I
They
do.
shut- they
I'm
shut-
people.
they shut-
Yeah.
I do because I immediately go to the church.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And instead of the guy that they actually talk about in the
Right.
Bible who
Right.
was
Exactly.
all
I
loving,
don't know why
who
that
he would
is,
be
but
he
yeah.
would be chilling right here with us
Right.
yes,
if it was this time.
Right.
He wouldn't be
100%.
in the church.
My higher power is this, which is it's so funny because I still see him as like the Jesus I grew up with.
sure.
But I have like flip flop Jesus. That's
Yeah.
what I call, even though I don't like to say Jesus, but it's like embedded in me,
Yeah.
you know, flip flop Jesus, where he's coming to me on the beach. Like we're walking up to each other on the beach. It's not a beach in California. It's like a beach in Thailand or somewhere. It's a really, or like Hawaii. It's like a really nice
Yeah,
beach,
yeah.
right? And he's coming up to me And I'm walking up to him and he goes, did you do a good job? Did you do your best? And I have one of two answers. And I say, no, I didn't. And he goes, okay, go back and try harder, go back and try it again. And then he keeps walking. And then the next scenario is we come up to each other and he goes, did you do your best? And I go, yeah. And he goes, okay, that's all you can do. And he keeps walking. And that's like my higher power. And I don't even know where I got that concept.
Yeah.
But for me, that's enough. Like if anybody out there wants to use flip-flop Jesus, you can use them too. Like that's what works for me because I grew up with a very damning God.
Me too.
I grew up with a God. Like God was like Jesus was like my first daddy issues, you know?
Okay.
Like and I was never good enough. I was never going to be good enough. And that was it. It's like I'm constantly working from a deficit. And I definitely see people kind of like shiver when you talk about God in the rooms, you talk about Jesus in the rooms. And I definitely believe that if someone's agnostic, that they can still make it through. And it says so in the big book that you're still going to be fine. But I absolutely agree that you need to figure out some sort of higher power, something.
Dude, I had a girl that I sponsored and she had a really same kind of a negative relationship towards just religion, church, on all the things, justifiably so. But when we were working the steps, you know, I made it so easy where it didn't matter what it was. Like, I think she had picked at one point in time, like, a tree, right? Yeah. But it's like, it doesn't matter. That's why I think AA, you know, and whatever the 12 steps and whatever program you go into, they got it right by not putting so much weight and heaviness on it. By like, dude, as long as you don't think that it's you, right, and you're running the show, because you running the show and you ended up in this room. Yeah. So you're not doing good.
Exactly. Okay? I love that. So they say your best thinking got you here. And
so it's like, not good. So like that alone is like so good. And like you can usually, an individual can grasp that. Right. And then also if eventually the relationship continues to grow. And then obviously the tree branch for this individual ended up, you know, evolving into other things. I think at one point she just kind of changed it, but we rolled with it because that's what it's about. It's about establishing your own personal relationship, whatever that may be. Yeah. And so who is another human to tell another human what that is? That's like totally not how it's supposed to go. Because then you're casting judgment and I'm trying to portray or put on my own personal beliefs. That ain't it.
I definitely agree with the concept of angels. Like when I was out there drinking.
I do too.
I know I had like some angels or even, you know, some spirits from family members past for sure looking after me, you know, countless car crashes. And I was hit by a train. I was actually hit by a train. Yeah. It's like the weirdest thing. I was drunk playing on the railroad tracks as one does when you're in a grow up in a small town.
Oh my God.
And there was a train coming. And it was just like I was at the guy that I was seeing his house, and there was railroad tracks on the other side. So I wasn't like out in a field or anything. It was just in the middle of the town. And we were all drunk, and we were having some get together, and we had went over on the railroad tracks to do something. I don't know if I wanted a picture or what. And then a train was coming, and when you're drunk, I just was like, it was like a moth to a flame. I was like, oh, you know, it's coming. I wonder if I can touch it. The fuck is wrong with me? But like, and I tell this story and I'm like, I wish I had like a better, like the train hypnotized me or something. Like, you know what? I wish I had a better way to describe it. The train was coming and it looks so slow.
Right.
Coming.
Right.
You know, and it's nighttime and it's dark and you're like, ooh. And I thought not that I was going to touch it, but I wanted to be near the train and see like how it felt. And I might have, you know, been feeling a little suicidal, but it certainly wasn't where I was feeling like, okay, I'm going to end it all. Yeah. And so this train starts coming up and I'm like, oh, fuck, it's really close. Oh my God. And everyone's screaming and yelling. They're all on the opposite side. And they're, CJ, get over here. And I feel finally like, okay, I've got to get out of here. And as I'm starting to feel like, get out of here, the train is getting closer and it starts sucking me in. Because you get,
oh my God,
fast it's going, it'll suck you. And so I'm getting sucked in and I'm like, fuck, this is it. The train goes to pass and something was jutting out. I don't know if it's a piece of wood. I don't know if it was a step. I don't know what it was, but I end up going and flying back like into a ditch or into whatever. And I'm drunk. So what do our bodies do? Like we don't tense up.
Yep.
That's why drunk people always survive all the
Yes.
car
Yep.
accidents
Yep.
because we don't tense
Your
up.
body just
You
goes.
just go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just flew back and the train slowed down and the train stopped because the conductor felt a shift in the wind. The train had to stop because he felt the train hit someone, which I didn't realize was even a thing, that they can feel it, which is how horrible for him. And I'm like, oh, you know, I get up, I brush myself off, and I like walk or run over across the street, and I'm holding my arm. And I run into the house and I hide in the closet because that's what seemed like a good idea at the time. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if I was bloody or what was going on. My boyfriend comes in and like my arm, he looks at me. He's like, people are screaming. We're like, oh my God, this is awful. My arm was just knocked out of the socket. That was it. And the railroad police go house to house and start looking for people. They're saying, okay, is everybody here? Is everyone accounted for in the house? And that's like a real thing that you can get arrested for.
Sure. Because you're fucking, yeah.
Because the railroad police are, it's real because people unfortunately do in their lives like that all the time. And I thought, oh, I got away with it. Ha ha ha. So funny. So hilarious at the time. We just go on to drinking. And then about a year later, one of my girlfriends that was there that night was in the police academy and they arrested her for that. I don't know what had happened, but they somehow figured out that she was there that evening, was connected with it, and she was arrested for that.
What?
And here we are, like, we're just like, oh, you know.
That is, how old were you?
Hit by a train, so weird.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think I was probably late 20s. Old enough to know better.
Yeah. That's
And she was and I didn't even know she was arrested for that until maybe like a year ago, a little over a year ago.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even know that. Yeah. It's like a real thing. But it's like but then I just go and start drinking some more.
Yeah, of course.
Because why wouldn't I? Like I just survived the train getting, the train hitting me. Like, what is that all about? So why wouldn't I go and drink some more?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the
insanity.
insanity. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
That's so crazy. That's actually wild. When just to, like go piggybacking on the OnlyFans, because it has such a stigma that I think depending on who you are and like what the page is, right? Because obviously I can't say that I've seen every individual's page, and I know that like there is some kind of crazier things out there. Do you think you having one has hurt trying to date somebody?
Yeah.
And have a relationship?
I wouldn't say necessarily hurt, but I've absolutely lost out on opportunities. And there are people that absolutely would not date me purely once they're like, oh, she has an OnlyFans. She's off. They like to say on online, OnlyFans detected, opinion rejected. And I respect that because that's their opinion.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I fully support
I
somebody.
like it when there's up front, right, like that, right? Because then you're just like,
It's usually a picture of a cat with like 200 followers, 20 followers or something.
Yeah.
You're like, cool, okay. I don't
Well,
really
then-
know if we run in the same
but
circle anyway.
Also, let's go into playing devil's advocate here. You had Playboy, right, for X amount of years, getting so like idolized and worshipped, and like these girls are amazing, and they're naked. They're naked. And that's like a beautiful thing, right? Well, then you go over to OnlyFans, and you have the same certain individuals that are doing the same types of spreads,
Right.
in tasteful manners, and they're naked as well, and now it's considered trashy and terrible. So I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know. I don't know that I don't know that it is. It's lumped, and I mean I'll let her answer, but it's lumped into a category because there's
Provocative, like
because
actual porn sex.
OnlyFans itself could be anything.
Yeah,
from,
cooking.
from
Right.
Whitney
it can
Cummings
be
has
from that, but it can
comedy.
be from sex.
Right.
I mean, full blown porn
Yeah,
to
comedy, a show.
a cooking show.
Yeah,
I mean,
that exists.
Playboy back in the day was completely, people would say all the time that it was like trash or pornography
Sure.
or whatever. I think actually Playboy now is a lot more palatable because we have like, you know, a Playboy bikini that a woman's going to buy, or a Playboy bubblegum, or, you know, I think they have monetized the rabbit head kind of in a way where it is societally more palatable. I don't know kind of when that happened, but
when Hustler came out.
Yeah. But it's like kind of like the safe one. But I think you know, I think there's just like choices that we make in life. Like this is like the choice that I made. It was the choice that made sense. I'm grateful for like the lifestyle that I lead, and it is largely in part to OnlyFans and also to me being nude online. I think it would be so stupid of me to say everybody should be accepting of OnlyFans and they need to normalize sex work, and you know, like they should be taught in the schools, like normalize it. No, don't fucking normalize it. I don't care. I really don't care. Why should I tell Miss Mary, you know, middle of America, that she needs to normalize sex work? She doesn't. If she wants to be completely outraged that I'm in LA, CJ Sparxx naked online, she's entitled to that. Like, I'm totally good with that. And I acknowledge that there's things, there's things that I will be crossed off of a list for strictly because I'm connected to OnlyFans or Playboy or whatever. And there's a lot of things that I would be completely crossed off for also because I don't drink. I'm fine with that. You know, like I am grateful that because, and here's the thing where I don't like the word normalize because it's not normal, which is why we make as much money as we do, which is why I make more money on OnlyFans than I would working at Walmart or unfortunately somebody who might even be formally educated with a degree. So like, I'm good with it not being normalized, but I do think it should be talked about more in a way where it's like, well, you know, that lady over there does the OnlyFans. You should probably stay away from her. Like, I'm good with that, but be nice. Like, be nice, be cool. She's not lesser than. You're allowed to say, I don't want to socialize with the OnlyFans lady. You know, like, but like, you can still be cool. You can still be respectful. You don't need to go and talk shit necessarily.
No, I mean, that's the thing is like, I think every human deserves dignity, value, and respect for one another. So to immediately look at someone less than, I think is a negative.
I don't agree with the lesser than.
Well, where you have the problem, and not just in this is a societal problem, and I'm not when I'm about to say left and right, I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about thinking, right? If you have extreme left thinking, and not political, just extreme left, like we need to normalize OnlyFans, or we need to everybody needs to accept the fact that no, they don't.
Right, agree.
Right.
Then you've got the extreme right thinking, like this should be completely banned.
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't, because the truth of the matter is that if you ban it, we're gonna take it underground anyways and do it, and it's gonna be even more perverted because that's what happens, you know. And,
if you're lucky,
if you're lucky, because the truth is in countries where it's nudity is more normal, there is less sex crimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Sex work is the oldest job in the book, you know, in any book in this world. I believe it should be regulated. It should be taxed. Like, why aren't we? Like, as a country, why are we not taxing this? Like, we tax the fuck out of everything else. Like, just fucking slap a lady up there, have her spinning around on the pole, and just know that, you know, when I give you a 20, a certain amount of it's going to Uncle Sam. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
But I do, that's like kind of the one thing that I don't like about organized religion as well, like with the whole
that's terrible
purity and the priests, and they're not allowed to have sex.
It's terrible.
That's silly.
And then
look what happens.
And then they molest you.
Yeah.
Not, maybe not the
all,
priest, but like, you know,
but it's true.
It wasn't a priest that molested me, but it happened in the church.
Look at Catholic.
Right.
There's
The Catholic
Church priests are out of control.
Terrible.
Right.
So it's
like
unnatural.
It was a breeding ground for pedophiles.
Yeah.
Right.
Legit.
It's unnatural. You're going against like your human.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
Right.
Especially men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Men
well,
were made.
Well, it's true.
Yeah.
It is true. That's what testosterone
Yeah,
is.
well, yeah,
and that's
no,
why
The
you
male
guys are.
sperm attacks the sperm before it.
Mhm.
So in the dog, if one dog sleeps with the bitch and then a second dog, the second dog's sperm will attack the first dog's sperm to make the dog pregnant. That's in the animal kingdom. I don't know if it's with humans also, but men are, even from the sperm, you were
Have you
attacking the other guy.
Wired.
Have you tried it out, buddy? Have
Probably.
you tried that?
I always went last.
Ew.
I'm sorry.
My God.
God.
Wait, but I actually have a different spin too. I look at it OnlyFans where I'm like, you know what? I think it actually makes a safer space for women because now they can sit in their home
Yeah.
and not put themselves in jeopardy by having to then like
How
go.
about the old peep rooms where you had?
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Yes, I've
The
never
old
been.
peep-
I've never
old
been to
peep
one of
rooms.
those. No,
You
the
haven't?
little hole, the glory hole.
No, I mean no, not the glory hole. Just the one where you
Ew.
opened up a little window and you could see the girl dancing naked in
All
the.
right, yeah, I've never done.
I don't even know where those are. Aren't those like, in different
I
countries?
think in foreign countries
Yeah.
now. Yeah, yeah.
They
Well,
had them here
yeah.
back in the
Did they?
day. Yeah.
Like where you put like a quarter in.
Yeah,
and
you
all
put a
the-
Girl
quarter
shows
in,
up,
and
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, those are dope.
Yeah, they smell
I mean, no, that's
Oh,
kind
ew.
of gross because
There's
I wouldn't
so-
want to
yeah,
go
there's
in
like
there.
cum
It's
in
like,
there.
yeah,
stinky
dude.
in there.
It's
Yeah.
just like
Like
the one
nasty.
thing that I can't stand is another dude's fucking mess.
I mean,
Ew.
of course. Well, you know, I do think that there is something to be said for like the online factor. There is like there is the safety,
Yeah.
and a lot of men will say, "Well, why would I go pay for it when I could get it for free?" You know, referring to the OnlyFans versus like a pornography that you
Oh,
can
sure.
just like Google or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And it's because what OnlyFans offers
Yes.
that pornography doesn't
Yes.
offer is connection.
Yes,
Yes.
And as
Yes.
much as
They-
the
everyone
men
wants that.
are,
Humans
you
are-
are
Yes.
guided by your nether regions at times, you guys still do
Yeah.
Crave.
want a
Yes.
connection.
We need mental
Yeah,
contact.
Yeah.
We need that mental.
Right.
mental
I think
connection.
especially
think-
now, this day and age,
Yeah.
because we are so
Yes.
mentally
I agree.
stimulated, you almost need it even
agree.
more.
I think
agree.
I think it's hard for like I won't do something like that because I'm married,
Right.
and my wife is not okay with that because if I have a connection,
Right.
she doesn't care if I look at porn.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
was just gonna say,
Yeah.
you better not be on the. I would die if my boyfriend was on the OnlyFans
Yeah.
like, giving other women money. I'm sorry, no other women are getting my man's money. Sorry
Yeah.
about it, except for his ex-wife. God bless. but
Right.
No,
if
I
he's
feel
just
you,
looking at
'cause
porn,
who gives a
I'm
fuck?
like, go for it.
Yeah, I mean,
Tell me when to come back in 10. Okay, I'll be back. You know,
Yeah.
like, or I'm hopping
Yeah.
in and I'm joining. You know, but
yeah.
like
yeah, there you
the
go.
OnlyFans. I mean, I
Because
feel,
that
I
it's
feel
a
for that. That
connection,
would.
yeah.
Well,
I
it
don't-
is. You know why? Because who's on your mind throughout the day? You can't wait to log in
Yes.
to see CJ.
Yeah.
So then,
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
talk to her or something.
Yeah.
So then, to me, I'm like, it hurts my heart because then it's
Right.
like I'd rather you
It's
go
a
watch
connection.
fucking Jerry, Joe, whoever on
Tommy
Pornhub.
Gunn.
Yeah.
on Pornhub.
The Tommy
and get it
Gunn.
done and
Right.
be on your way because it's like you're not thinking about
You're
this
not
woman and fantasizing about like
Yeah.
you as a
Shout out
person
to
that
Tommy
you
Gunn.
possibly could meet
Right.
or that you can message or
Right.
DM or
Absolutely.
however. because-
Especially if you have a good man.
Yep.
You know, yeah.
So then
You're
all
like,
of a
why
sudden-
wouldn't she want you, babe? You're great. You
so,
know?
yeah. So then it's like, oh, okay. So then you're actually like seeking another relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do
For
you go
me,
on
that
it?
would
That would
yeah.
be a hard.
I'd be
mean,
shattered.
I would too.
Yeah.
I would too.
I feel for these women.
That'd be a no
that-
for me.
Yeah.
That's a hard no.
I agree. 1,000%.
Future fellas out there.
And that's
Yeah.
that's probably
1000%.
Yeah.
but that's probably where a lot of the
Hate comes from.
the hate comes
Yeah.
from is the
People
But you know
hurt
what?
is
Here's
from
my
the
thing
ladies.
too. I didn't make him do that. I didn't make.
Yeah,
him.
why
It
are they
could
mad
happen
at you?
to me too.
It just goes with the
Yeah.
relationships. Like you know how somebody cheats on somebody,
Mhm.
immediately like they'll be upset with the woman. It's like
Mhm.
why?
No,
I'm not.
no.
I'd be upset with my
With the man.
because he chose to step out on me.
That's
E-
right.
Emily's upset
That's
with
right.
both of them.
No, it's not though.
Well, I
Like,
mean,
you can't.
obviously it depends on the. On
Well, if the, here's the
situations,
thing: if
but,
the
like,
woman knows
Yeah.
that the
There's
man is
different-
married,
I think that's in
shame
real
on
life,
her too. Not in your and not in the OnlyFans world,
Right.
but like because it's I don't think it's your job to be like, hey,
Right.
click the married or not married button.
Right. Right.
Is your wife okay
I
with
believe
this?
that someone is good if they want to cheat or
They're
if
gonna
they're
do it
dissatisfied,
anyway.
they're gonna do it. And I also don't think it's like, oh, feed him and keep his balls empty or whatever. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, the old saying,
Sure.
like, well, if you weren't fucking your man, somebody else is going to. No, there's plenty of stories, too, where women are like, we were having sex all the time
Totally.
and he still went out and cheated.
Yeah.
So I believe
I
whether
agree.
it's man or woman, if somebody wants to cheat, they're going to find it at the
I
grocery
agree.
store, the doctor's
Yeah.
office, and at the
Some-
stoplight.
Some
I agree.
guys,
Yeah.
some guys desire it more. Maybe some guys get addicted to it.
Yeah.
It becomes an addiction,
It
and
does,
it's not
yeah.
even. It's not even the act of sex.
Mhm.
It's the act of being a
The
predator.
pursuit.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Like going after a
Yeah.
prey. Like
I would argue, though, and say that that's a weak man.
it is.
Oh, for
That's a
sure.
weak man.
I
That can't.
agree.
That has.
It's
the,
you have
yes.
definitely.
It's okay to have that desire.
Yes.
I would say
I'm
it's
down for that.
a
But
sick
if you
man.
Don't
cannot
act on it.
control it,
Yes.
Yeah.
a weak. If you're sick, I would say that would go in tandem with
Yeah.
with the weakness. You know,
Yeah.
you are sick. You should seek help because
You
if
should
you're
seek help.
disrupting yourself
Totally.
in
Yeah.
that way,
Yeah.
you're putting yourself in all these different situations.
Yep.
We hear a lot. You know, Cardi B is singing a song about it. You know, he's passed out. You take his money and all this. I mean, shit can happen to guys too. You know, men can put themselves in situations where they're taken advantage of in that way. It's sick and it is weak. If you are a man and you're ruled
There's
by
a-
yourself in that
there's
way,
a-
Yeah, I
pity
agree.
I
you.
will say
I agree.
there is a rule that men should follow, and it's don't make a major decision.
with a boner.
I was gonna say I was gonna say the exact same thing, bro. I agree. Do not make it.
I believe Seneca said that. Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have a boner, stay home.
with full balls, but, you know, a boner. Yeah.
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 stay
You,
home.
you need to
Hungry, tired,
Yeah, exactly.
horny.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
the things. But I think
go,
that
go
it's
take
true.
care of that before you
It-
go make a major decision.
Yeah,
in
women
your life.
too. Do you know? Get yourself off before you go on a date.
Fuck.
You know, you have a clear mind. You know, yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
I'm just curious. this motherfucker right here's got some twisted shit that goes
Yeah.
through his head, and we're wondering right now, what do you?
I was thinking about Natalie.
What?
Just for a second, I was thinking about Natalie going on it before she went on a date. What she said. That's my thought for a second. Just
Whoa.
a quick thought. That's where my head went
Edit
for a
that
second
out.
there.
Huh?
Yeah, that's
Edit that.
what she was saying.
Like,
she
bro.
was saying go on a date. She was saying
Do you want to continue being a host on this podcast? Because how I see it is your wife's already
Yeah.
making you get a vasectomy.
Oh man.
oh
Like-
man.
She pisses you piss her off.
No, my
She gonna
wife's
be-
good. I was teasing, but you know, I was just thinking.
Okay,
but that is a good idea. You have to clear yourself before you go on a date.
Yeah, you
Because
need
you
to go
don't-
with a
Just,
clear
they're
mind.
they're extra interested because I will be going on dates. I'm assuming. I hope soon.
Yeah.
I don't know what that looks like. Probably won't happen. It's probably more in my imagination than ever. But
Well,
what is? I don't even know. I wouldn't even know how
do
to date
you?
somebody.
But do you? Well, okay. So first, you need to get clear on what you desire.
Myself.
So then you.
I'm
will,
good alone.
So
Then you'll be alone until you decide
Yeah.
differently.
so
Yeah,
exactly
which
what
is
Shane
okay.
was just thinking
Yeah.
about. There you go.
There we go.
Bam.
That wasn't that bad after
Satisfied.
all.
Satisfied.
You know what I mean? It's just
I'm not feeling that naughty
just-
anymore.
I know,
God.
I know what I like would want an equality man, but I'm also not seeking getting married because I obviously was married and now going through the process of not being married. So I think that would be silly to immediately want to get married again. I don't really
agree.
foresee myself actually getting married again. Which also
But you
goes
should-
back to the
I
fucking
said that
religion
when I
thing,
got
right? Because
divorced.
like my parents have been
I said
married
that.
for 52 years.
There was no way. I
Yeah,
was
they're
getting
That's a-
married.
savages. They're amazing.
That is savage. That's really
They
the
are.
only way to say that.
Dude,
Yeah.
right? Like, and my parents are gangster when it
6
comes
weeks
from
later,
like
I was like,
true love, like true blue,
find someone.
ride or die.
That's
like
hard.
from
Hard to live up.
from
to.
good, bad, or indifferent, and to also the highs, the lows, the peaks, the valleys. My parents ride for each other. That's one thing that I think is the sad thing about getting a divorce. Is like I'm not having that.
Yeah, that's a tall order.
For
That's a tall order. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that I do think it can be done in this day and age. I have a lot of my single girlfriends. I've been in this relationship now for about a year and a half. We've been seeing each other and then a year committed. And long distance has actually worked on in our favor, in my favor especially, because it forces you to be on the phone, getting to know
Communicate.
that person. Yeah. Whereas in the past where like you just hang out for like a week and you're like, okay, you're like, we're boyfriend, girlfriend, or we're in love now.
Yeah.
And so there is a beauty to that. But since I've now got like a somewhat of a little track record with a good, healthy relationship, and I'm also in another 12-step program to help myself get clear on my boundaries, and my needs and my desires in a relationship, and also what I need and desire from myself. Because that was a very huge thing when I started dating. I wasn't clear on what I wanted and what I needed. And as I became to get more clear and more confident in what I want, because I have wants. I have shit that I need from you, my partner. And I will not apologize for it. And if you cannot meet it, that's okay. Perhaps we'll figure out how to make it work together. Or perhaps I leave. And I'm not mad at you, and you shouldn't be mad at me either, because if we can't meet each other's needs, why the fuck are we going to continue this? And I've even told people too, if you can't meet my needs in some way outside of the bedroom, like why are we even going to continue to be in the bedroom?
That. I love that.
Yeah, because I'm going to safely assume you're not going to be good in bed, because if you can't meet my needs outside of bed, be hard pressed to think that you're going to meet my needs in bed. And I have needs in bed too. I have things that I want and things I'm not afraid to speak up for. I'm currently my boyfriend's going to kill me, but like currently I'm having like very good sex. And it's partially because my boyfriend is like dated a lot of hot women, and so he like comes to me, he's like ready to go. He knows all the tricks. So like God bless all. I was telling him the other day, I'm like, I'm so thankful to all the women who came before me, literally. God bless, seriously, because I get to reap all the benefits. But like also I ask for what I need. Inside the bedroom and outside of the bedroom. And my boyfriend is literally just like, that's all. Like, what else can I like? He's so but it's if I wasn't clear on what I wanted, and also if I didn't have like the ability to ask, like sometimes like it's uncomfortable to ask.
Very
uncomfortable. It's so weird. Like why is that uncomfortable? But it is.
It is. And it's really important to.
This is going back to ancient times. I mean, when you married a husband, you're picking the warrior. You know what I mean? You have needs. You have needs, and you don't marry.
I used to feel bad.
You don't marry out of desperation. You're not going to marry someone that's in bad shape. I mean, that's just how life used to be.
Getting sober taught me like that it's okay for me to have needs.
100%.
And I don't know exactly even why getting sober taught me that, but I guess it just kind of
do self-work. And
then
start respecting yourself.
100%.
And you have self-worth and
100%.
self-esteem, and you don't have to apologize for it because it's like it makes you who you are. You don't have to feel bad about it, because I think, or at least for myself, before entering the rooms, like I hated myself. I had zero self-esteem. I had no confidence. I didn't believe in who I was. Now in the rooms, because of all the work that we have to do, all the stuff that we have to unpack, and the work that we have to
all the finger pointing at yourself.
Yes, I'm the problem.
Which is so tough. But ultimately,
dude, it's
so freeing, because if
lucky.
I'm the problem, I also have the ability to change it.
You're the solution.
See, I was the same. When I got married, I told Maren, I need this, and this in order to be faithful and to be coming home every day at 5 o'clock.
That's a tough conversation.
It's a tough conversation, but it was.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I can only imagine what you said, what those needs are.
Yeah.
But good for you for advocating for your needs.
So does
Everyone
Natalie.
has different.
So does Emily, Lewis.
I think it's
Catherine.
important.
If it's important to you, it's important.
Yeah.
If it's important to you, it should somewhat be important to
we
your
call
spouse.
it we call it abusive, but
But you know what goes on behind closed doors? Get a man in his life.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, if she doesn't call it abusive, then it's not abusive.
She doesn't call it abusive.
Who knows what your wife is doing to you behind closed doors? I can only imagine what kind of woman is going with this.
Probably spanking his ass.
Yeah, and he's probably loving it. All leather. He's got his little collar on.
Yeah,
that's the only reason why he goes home. Oh God! If you do,
that's with the ball in my mouth.
If you do,
yeah, perhaps.
You know the ball? You tie the ball on.
That we have to fucking cut out, bro. That's
what? That was a good one.
That was like this is the Hopeaholics. Like that
I'm
shit.
so-
There is.
You're making Emily like cringe this entire
No, I'm
time.
not.
No, she's actually laughing at this.
I cannot be a part of the kink
Emily is
shaming.
glowing right now.
I can't be a part of it. I can.
You know,
It's okay as long as all parties have consented. Just saying.
oh man.
How's your relationship now with your family?
My relationship with my family is incredible. When I was getting sober, there was a long time I didn't talk to my family.
Sure.
I'll never forget. I like cursed at my mom. I said like fucking or something, and I think it even sounded weird because when you're on the phone with your parents and you're like cursing for the first time, because I grew up again, no secular television, very religious. My real name is Cassandra. My mom picked the name because it's on Little House on the Prairie. It's like a guest star. So like that's just a little insight into what was going on at the house. And so no cursing, no drinking, like no sex before marriage. Nobody ever took me to get a thong or a bra. Like I don't know how I procured any of these things, but
it makes sense to me. Because you restrict a human, you're gonna gravitate towards it.
That's how I feel.
That's how I think.
And also no conversation around like the sex or I mean, a woman now, let's take you to get a bra or like, just no conversation. I'm left to my own devices.
Totally.
And so what were we talking about again?
How your relationship with them.
So when I first got kicked out, which rightfully so, I didn't talk to my mom. I didn't talk to my dad. It was probably like 4 or 5 years. We were not on speaking terms, and I didn't go to anything family related. And, there's this beautiful thing too, as you get older, you're just like, fuck, like toothpaste costs money, toilet paper costs money, all these different things where you're like, I can move out and get my own apartment. And you maybe can because you can pay your car payment and you can pay your rent, but there's all these other little things. And you're like, my parents did so much, like my mom dating with 3 kids. How do you do that? Like dating is hard, just us existing as we are. How do you do that with 3 kids? Or my dad being so dedicated to his religion and so just like kind of like willing to almost let go of his family for the religion. You start to emphasize and have empathy around, like kind of their own struggle. And as I was getting sober in the beginning, I started reaching out a little bit more and we were able to cultivate a relationship, but there was a big chunk where I didn't talk to them. Neither my dad nor my mom really exist on the internet. Some people would be like, oh, my mom has Facebook or like, so my dad has Twitter and he retweets these sort of things. My parents don't exist on the internet. Neither. I think my dad has at email, and then that's it. And so I'm grateful in that I have been allowed to exist in my nudity on the internet without having it be the source of the Thanksgiving dinner table conversation. And it is a bit of a don't ask, don't tell. Sure. I've never had to ask them for money or anything, so they don't really know what I do. I've told my mom, oh yeah, I went to the Playboy Mansion a few times, and she's just like, oh honey, that's great. Oh, like good for you. And I kind of just showed up with big boobs one day. Like nobody really said anything about that, So we're good. We talk probably weekly. I just spoke with my brother today, who's my best friend, him and I had a tumultuous relationship growing up as well. We used to like literally beat each other up because my brother and I are so very much alike, and we were both just so angry. We kind of had just a bit of a bizarre childhood growing up, mostly centered around religion. It's pretty boring, other than it was just so staunch, and it was so we didn't eat certain things because my dad was like, your body is the temple of God. So it was just kind of bizarre,
super extreme, like
super extreme and just strange, where you're like, what? And so it wasn't a bad childhood, it's just like a weird childhood, and there's so many different rules, and it was just very staunch. And as I've gotten older, I've understood my dad more, and now we are good, because now I am able to equate my sobriety around my dad's love of his religion, because my dad is always, I'll be like, Dad, how's your day? And he's like, praise God. It was, this was the kind of day. And, oh, the Lord always provides. And da, 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 da. Like, and I'm just like, I just want to know about my dad. I don't really give a fuck about all this extra because you're not giving me anything to work with. This is just, and my dad really used to be, and I don't know if anybody at home can relate, but where somebody talks at you.
Yeah.
They're talking at you.
Yeah.
And they're just fucking waiting for their turn to talk. I fucking hate that. I hate that.
Yeah.
A conversation is supposed to be like,
Give and take.
collective. Yeah, we're all in this together. I can tell when people are waiting for their fucking turn. I hate it so bad.
Right.
And it's just a trigger from childhood, really. But now I have a softness in my heart, especially for my dad, because I'll be in like a public setting with a bunch of normies and I'll be like, well, in my 12 step, we say restless, irritable, and discontent. And I think that's what you're feeling right now. And people are like, lady, they're like, we're, it's like a whole other table at the Applebee's. And I just show up, I like pop up and I'm like, let me help you with that, and they're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And so I can relate because my dad is always talking about God. And I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I don't fucking understand it, but I get it.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit of compassion. It gives you a little bit of gratitude because you know how hard it is to like, make ends meet. And then on top of that, having kids and stuff. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. And so now my dad's birthday's in a few weeks and my brother's birthday is in a week. And his sober birthday also is the day after mine. My brother's in the program as well, too. Yeah, awesome. A few years after I got in, he was like, I think I might need to go. And I was like, I think that might be a good idea. Yeah. One thing that the guy, when I was dating, one thing that he did so well that I really live by as well, and never tell anyone, or you're an alcoholic, or you need to get help. Because if he would have said that to me, I would have been like, fuck you, I'm out, I think it's so important. I think it's actually very important for people to come to meetings drunk or high.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, obviously try not to.
Yeah.
But if you are drunk and high and you need a meeting, exactly.
I don't care who it is.
Exactly.
Or where you're at.
And
I've
I
been
think
to so many high on
me
meth.
too.
Yeah.
Or not on meth, but
and you
tweaking out.
But that's where it's headed. If if anything happens, it's like, for sure. It's definitely not headed in a winning path if I'm doing how I was out in the streets drinking and doing the coke, for sure. I probably did meth at some point and I probably just didn't even fucking know it.
Oh, I mean, I stumbled upon it, but cocaine was like my drug.
It would have been it rings your bell differently.
Yeah.
Like it hurts.
If it hurt, I'd just be like, fuck, I need to drink more. This is bad coke.
Like makes your brain fucking curl.
Yeah.
In comparison. I mean, I remember I got addicted when I was 13 years old. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I just snorted a line and it was like the best feeling I had ever had, and all of a sudden I could do homework and go to school and clean my room and
go to jail
and I wasn't a fat kid anymore. I got skinny, all the things. It's
the tool.
It's
the only tool.
It was the solution.
Yeah.
It was the solution to what you said in the very beginning. It quieted my head and it gave me all the things. It lied. It gave me all the things that I wanted. Until it didn't.
Yeah.
And then those things that became misery.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing, is that it works for a while.
Yeah.
Nobody's disputing that.
Yeah. Otherwise we wouldn't do it. Otherwise we wouldn't have done it a second time.
Totally.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, it has given me everything that I have in my life.
Yeah.
Because I will say, because my daughter was born, and I had a moment of clarity where I was like, I don't want to live this way anymore.
Yeah.
And it gave, and my daughter gave me something else to live for.
Right.
Kind of like what happened to you. Like, I mean, I had been in the program from a nudge from the judge, so I knew that something else existed. So, but what I needed was that extra something to live for.
Right.
And I went back to the program because I wanted to be a dad. Then what I got was so much more.
Right. I really relate to that because that's how I feel as well. Prior to getting sober, I never felt like I could be anyone's mom or truly like anyone's like good girlfriend. I was always I was always so aloof in all my relationships, and I feel so fortunate because especially on the women's side, we hear so many different stories of women that were taken advantage of and just didn't have people around them. I'm so grateful. That is just not my story.
Yeah.
I always had a good boyfriend or good friends that cared about me, and I'm so fortunate. And I feel truly so unique in that I had all these different people that were still looking out for me despite, you know, my disgusting behavior of, you know, falling over drunk or, you know, throwing up in public spaces or whatever. You know, I'm so grateful because it could have been so different. But I agree. Now I feel so confident that I can be an incredible girlfriend, an incredible partner. I feel like I can like start a business. I don't know what it was that like in the beginning of the year, I did a vision board and I've been telling myself, I'm a business owner. I don't own no fucking business. I'm doing the OnlyFans, but like, I never thought
it's a business.
It is, but
you have to show up. You have to.
I do have to show up. That is true.
Or else you're not making any money.
But
it's a
like,
business.
I guess a business.
Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Because it is.
But I feel like perhaps a business owner outside of this. I think because I have been doing kind of like I've been doing. Existing online as like a hot chick, which I'm so grateful for, but it's been like 15 years. It's been a long ass time. And so now I'm like trying to take myself from one box, which I'm so grateful for. Who gets to exist as like a hot, good looking woman online, make money, like even like prior even to Instagram almost. Like I'm so grateful that I've had, how is that even possible? Facetune, good hair, good makeup, good angles, good lighting, plastic surgery, hello, you know. But like who gets to say they've done that? However, I feel as though I have done that. I have done that, and I no longer desire to be kind of like a one trick pony.
Yeah, you want to pivot.
Yeah, I want to do more things and prove to myself that I can do something different. Because when I got sober, I remember thinking I'm never going to have fun again. I always enjoyed being the life of the party. I always enjoyed being the loudest one in the room. I always enjoyed being a little bit of a wreck, being like the wild child, being the Wolverine. And I thought, you know, what is my identity without all of this? And I still think that, you know, what is my identity like without OnlyFans? But in giving up and taking a chance for a better life, a calculated gamble, if you will, getting sober, I have been given so much, so much in return. And not all days are easy, you know, like things still happen and, you know, disappointment and failure. But you're just like, okay, like that was the thing that happened. I get to be sad about it for a little while. And then it's like, okay, but you like got to keep it going. And so I'm feeling like if I start thinking of myself as like, I'm someone who owns a business or I'm a business owner, then I think that, you know, I'll follow suit, like what you were saying with the brain and the mind. It's so powerful. Yeah, and it's pretty wild.
Life and death is the power of the tongue.
Yeah, but it's
it's like you put it out there. People call it manifestation, vision board, a journal, writing it. If you don't say it and speak it into existence, it ain't gonna happen.
You give yourself permission in a way, you know. And I never thought I'd be someone that like lives in LA.
Right.
I never thought I'd be someone that got to like fly on a private plane or got to have like a savings, a big savings. Not that big, unfortunately, we're working on it, but like a savings. A saving. Who has a savings? Who isn't living paycheck to paycheck? And I'm grateful to be doing this without a college education. I would have liked to have went to college, but like, you know, getting kicked out of your home after being kind of a shitty kid and throwing parties at the house, kind of tough to go to college after that. You got bills to pay. You got to get to work. So like I did that to myself, but you know, there was a way that I saw my life going and it didn't go that way. And for a long time I was bitter about that. And I felt shorted and I felt like life had cheated me. And I drank because I wanted to numb the pain. And now I know that I don't have to do that anymore and I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can switch that on a dime. Never too early, never too late.
And it starts in your head. Which is also kind of fucked too, because there's so much social media and scrolling, and I'm also a victim of that.
Of course.
I'm
Everybody
somebody who will reach for my phone first
Sure.
thing in the morning, but if you can just not do that every single time, if you can listen to an inspirational
Totally.
podcast, Hopeaholics,
There you go.
or if you want to have a bit of brain rot, you can listen to Inside OnlyFans, which is my podcast. But you know, like there's a place and a time for that too. I listen to
Of
Mel
course.
Robbins
Yeah.
and Joe Dispenza and you know, some people like that, and it's incredible if you just keep pummeling your
Yes.
brain. I'm a business owner, I'm a good person, I'm an alcoholic, but I'm
Yeah.
living my life. Like you're so good, and you don't have to do anything, even if you can play stuff while you're asleep.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
It's
It is.
it's super important that we feed
Yes.
every sense of our body, meaning our mouth, our nose, our especially our ears, our eyes. It's really important. We can't just put organic food in our body and think that our mind's going to be positive. It's not.
Yeah.
It'll help though, because there is that gut mind connection.
Yeah.
But like, I'm with you. Like my I scroll too, but if you actually go to my For You page or whatever it's called on Instagram, it's all motivational speakers. And I'll just scroll through those guys a little bit.
And you pick and
Instagram
choose.
You do,
Instagram
yeah.
tries to put because I am a dude, they try to put a naked girl on there every
God
once in a
bless.
while. I just scroll past it and I
Yeah.
don't heart it.
You don't. Are you not allowed to heart a bikini post on Instagram? I want to ask.
Am I not allowed?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that my wife would like it,
Okay.
but I mean, I'm allowed to do whatever I want.
Okay.
But she's also allowed to get upset if she wants.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know?
There might be consequences. Yeah.
There are consequences to my actions.
Right.
I just try to be respectful. You know, would I care if she hearted a fucking
Dude.
dude's
Yeah.
hot bod?
I
No,
think so.
I wouldn't. No,
Maybe.
wouldn't bother me.
Slightly.
No.
I
It's
feel
some
like we
dude
would,
on
I feel like we
Instagram.
would hear
If
like,
she
who
was
the fuck's
DM
this guy?
if she was DMing the guy,
Oh yeah. That's a hard
problem.
no.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
but she also has friends from her past that are dudes, and they talk. Doesn't bother me.
I have a couple ex-boyfriends I still chit chat with every now and again. And my boyfriend has a few exes that he keeps in touch with. I think it's healthy. I think
Yeah.
as long as a person is a fan of the relationship isn't being
Oh,
put
but
under
being
wraps.
being cool with your ex?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer though.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay.
Someone's gonna want to smash,
I am with you.
and it's just like I haven't.
Shane's with you on the side
Totally,
of that
right?
his wife can't do that.
Oh,
I don't either.
No, you shouldn't. I
Can't.
mean,
I don't know.
it depends on
Can't.
how the relationship
No.
is. I have
Yeah.
a child with my ex-wife.
That's
Right.
different.
That's different.
That's a
Right,
little
yeah.
we,
That's
co-
different.
we communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
Right.
Like that would be
That's-
terrible if you didn't, because
But-
that would
but
be
here's the
selfish for your kid.
Kelly and I were really good friends after we divorced.
Right.
Before I met Donna,
Okay.
I don't think.
But that's also different, dude.
In the
you have a
begin-
kid. You
Yeah.
have to.
even if I didn't have a kid.
You can't say that because it's not true. So it doesn't exist. It's not real.
Plus, Kelly's a special person.
Yeah.
It's a bad example.
And you guys work together, so that
She's a special person, bro.
So I have to say
She's different.
that
You got lucky.
And
Yeah.
and Donna had an ex-boyfriend, and her rule was with any guy that she dated, you have to understand that my ex-boyfriend is one of my best friends. And it was actually a deal breaker for her if the guy
shit,
couldn't if the guy couldn't accept the fact that she had
It's a unique situation.
Well, yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
is he still her best friend?
he's dead. So I didn't have to. It would have been a deal breaker for me.
Right.
So we
Oh.
probably would have never.
So it didn't work. I mean, so he was in the picture when you guys met.
He
Oh, so then it doesn't.
It didn't affect
disregard.
mine,
Yeah.
but every other relationship with that she had.
Yeah.
I actually am a believer in the opposite way. I'd rather you be friends with an ex than like have a random girlfriend,
than enemies.
gal pal.
No. Those are
That
Those
you've
don't
never
work.
that you've
Whoa,
never
whoa, whoa.
fucked
Those don't
Whoa.
exist.
because
No, that doesn't
Those don't
because
exist.
if
No.
you've never if at least you've
Nope.
tasted the ex
I'm in
sex
for neither.
I'm
situation.
with you
in
too.
for neither.
There's no
I'm with
way
you
a
for
man
neither.
can't have girlfriends because
I don't
they
have
want a fucking
girlfriends.
bone.
No
Yeah.
chance.
And the
No
ex
chance.
girl, it's just like I'm a big one on. So far in my 40 years, I've never seen it work out.
Never.
I have three
Every
older
time I
brothers,
tried to
and
have
so,
a friend,
yeah.
we'd be driving home, and she'd be driving home, and she'd go, "Oh, you're so silly." She'd touch my leg. Oh,
Where it's on.
we're gonna fuck in a week. We're gonna fuck in a week. It's
Oh,
guaranteed.
I have three older brothers, so it's like when they would come home and be like,
Yeah.
you know, there's just a friend. Everybody in the house is like, yeah,
Doesn't
fucking right.
happen.
Yeah.
Trying to
Doesn't
smash.
happen.
Yeah.
No.
I'd rather my boyfriend be friends with exes than like have
Oh,
random
Yeah.
girlfriends, because at least you've been there, done that. It's like kind of old news
Sure,
with the
sure.
ex.
Yeah, you already.
But like the new
No.
fresh meat, that's what I'd have
well,
a
I go
problem
like
with.
this. First of all, men, they want to be with a woman for X amount of reasons, right? They're not. If you want to have like girlfriends,
I'm just gonna
that's
say
weird.
this. I'm gonna say this about men. This is
You're not chatty guys. You're not gonna have a girlfriend.
straight
Sorry.
Fuck no.
men. Straight men
Don't have girlfriends.
well, you can have one, but she's probably not gonna be attractive.
She can't be.
If
Otherwise, I want to
if
fuck her.
There is
You
no
don't even care what she looks like,
there
bro.
is, there is no guy has a hot
No.
friend.
No.
Period.
Agree. Period.
Doesn't happen.
Like
Period.
if we have a girl that's hot that we're saying is our friend,
Maybe there's a chance.
we're
Hoping there
we're
is.
hoping that we're gonna smash that chick.
Yes, I agree.
It's
I
a-
haven't encountered it yet. I'm saying it could exist.
I haven't either.
Right?
I don't think it exists.
I don't either.
I don't think so, because deep down the guy wants it.
So that's a hard no for me. So if
Me
if
too.
I end up dating a guy and he's like, oh, you know, like
I have a
really
chick.
good time, but I have like 4 girlfriends
I don't think
and
so.
I have one best friend and they all happen
We
to
go
be
for
like,
coffee every now and then.
yeah,
Fuck
I'm like,
that.
fuck that, I'm out.
No.
I'm out. That's a hard
that.
no for me.
Fuck that.
I think that's good that you.
I know. Yeah, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. I'm just saying for me
Right.
personally,
Right.
that's a no for me.
Yeah.
Because then
I'm with
it's
you.
like weird. I'm like, and why
super
are you
weird.
going to your girlfriend
Well,
and not
this
to
is
me?
what I'm saying, honey. I'm gonna go for coffee with Denise tonight.
All right, I'm
honey-
bored.
Okay.
She's like, who the fuck
This
is
was
this?
a really
Yes,
great
thank you
podcast.
so much, CJ.
CJ Sparxx.
You're the bomb.
You are
Congratulations.
amazing.
Thank you.
And happy early. I know it's a little bit early,
2
but
weeks early.
7
7
good on
years?
you
6
for-
years?
6.
6.
yeah.
No fronts, but
Yeah.
you're gonna make it.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you know how we can
I'm
do it like
confident.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
stay close to the program.
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
I like
well,
that. You talked program. It was,
Yeah, it's
it was really
everything.
refreshing.
Yeah.
Not all of our guests that come in are program people.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I
I'm
always
big program.
I'm big program.
I
I've tried
always
it the other way.
really-
Didn't work out.
yeah.
really like it because
Important.
to me there is no better healing.
Yeah.
There's no more thorough
Guide.
guide than the 12 steps.
I agree.
You get to learn so many spiritual principles.
Yeah.
And when you have completed the 9th step, there is truly a psychic change right there.
It's so true. Yeah.
Where you no longer have the ability to blame anybody else in your life
Yes.
for what goes on in your life.
Yeah.
It's so empowering.
And you no longer
Empowering.
have to worry about somebody else's life. It is no longer,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if their side of the street is clean or not. Yours,
Yours
is.
is. Boom.
Yeah.
I agree.
Thank
Yeah.
you for coming
Yeah.
in.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you for
CJ.
having me,
You're
guys.
beautiful.
I appreciate it. Bye.